good morning. Hello. Hi, everybody. Brock and Salk Show. Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com, Seattle Sports app, podcast platforms, 97.3 HD2, YouTube. Are you watching on YouTube? You should be. You should watch on YouTube. I was hearing yesterday, we had a big staff meeting. Everybody was talking about digital stuff, and God, the number of times they said YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. Lyle, do you consume a tremendous amount of content through YouTube?
Yeah, a good amount. I mean, actually not a good amount of it. Yeah, a lot.
Like a lot. So you just go to YouTube and then, do you start by going to youtube.com or you do it on your YouTube app or one or the other, and then you just, fed stuff?
Yeah, the app, and either there's something I'm already planning to go watch in advance, or, your algorithm feeds you stuff, and you kind of go from there. I mean, in shocking fashion, most of the stuff I'll watch is baseball related, but...
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm just kind of curious. Anyway, YouTube, you can watch us there. And I don't know. That's probably good for your algorithm to watch us, I think. Right? Doesn't that help your algorithm? Makes you feel like, you're going to get other good content because they know you're getting this good content. And so YouTube's going to see that. And the little mice they have running the wheels behind the scenes are going to start feeding you more good content. So it's really just beneficial for your life.
I mean, I do watch Seattle sports content on YouTube for what it's worth.
There you go. Absolutely. All right. So find us on YouTube and you can watch us that way. Or podcasts. I told you I wanted some Apple podcast reviews. We got 6 of them. All 5 stars. How about that? Not enough to get us over the hump to 4.7. So if you have some time, maybe you could leave us one. We're very close to 2,000 reviews, which is great. I'll read you a sampling. Best sports radio show. I'm leaving a 5-star review because Salk asked me to. Thank you. Not much to say. Very entertaining. Not much to say besides 5 stars across the board. Thank you, Dan. Excellent daily listener or excellent daily listen. If you're a sports fan, especially when it comes to Seattle sports, this is one of the best podcasts to listen to. One of. Great chemistry between Brock, Salk, and Mora, and they outdid themselves by adding Lyle onto this show. He was the perfect addition, and you can kind of feel how diehard of a Mariners fan he is. His podcast, Marine Layer, is my other go-to during the day. How about that?
Well, that's nice of him. Thanks.
I appreciate Salk's hot takes. I don't have hot takes. Lyle's advanced outlooks towards baseball, and Brock and Mora being the glue that keeps the show running smoothly. Keep up the good work. All right, well, that's very nice. This one is super, super long, which is really nice from Curtis C. But Brock and Salk are the best. Been a Brock and Salk listener for as long as I can remember. Grew up listening to you guys around the rise of the Seahawks in the LOB era and have been absolutely hooked ever since. Man, it goes on and on about Fan Fiction Fridays and Salk, love your curiosity and thought process on roster. Well, thank you. This is all incredibly nice. I can't read it all, but really appreciate it. I did get a chance to read it beforehand, so thank you. And then this one says, great show, still the most entertaining platform for all things Seattle sports. Salk needs positive affirmation in order to get him out of bed in the morning, so this one is for him. Thank you. That is very nice. And then finally, the fat man says, make Lyle never speak again. 5 stars. Amazing show that Lyle is ruining. Worst personality in radio history.
Oh, that's strong.
Tough crowd.
That's really going too far. How could you say that? Lyle's great. You should go back to what the other person said, that Lyle was the best hire ever. I'm much more on that side. I love having Lyle here. Dude's fun. You want to get pissed off by something this morning? You want me to read something that's going to piss you off?
No, I'm always up for that.
I figured you might. This one got me. This one's pretty funny. I was clicking through in bed this morning as I was getting out of bed, and just I was looking for that positive affirmation to actually get myself out of the bed and into the shower, and I ran across this headline. I ran across this headline from USA Today Sports. MLB at the midway point, : Cal Raleigh's home run pace could deny Aaron Judge a triple crown. Get out of here. Cal Raleigh's home run pace is only notable because it could possibly deny Aaron Judge the triple crown? Come on. I try not to. Look, I could come on here and rant about New York every day. If you needed me to, if you needed a daily rant about New York, I could do it, or I could call my dad and he could do it. You should have heard my dad last weekend when he was here ranting about New Yorkers and their bagels. because I went out and got bagels for everybody, and talking about how good East Coast bagels are, and New York bagels come up. My dad's like, "Oh, because they're bigger? No, just because they're from New York." And I mean, he's going off, but it's so true. It's so 100% accurate that the world of a New Yorker is only viewed through the lens of New York. God forbid any place else in the world have something going on. How about this? MLB at the halfway point. Aaron Judge could steal Cal Raleigh's MVP. You like that one, New Yorkers? My God. New York bagels are really good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking their bagels. They're great. But not everything needs to be viewed through the lens of this is the way it looks through New Yorkers' minds. And this is just another example of it. So I saw that this morning. I figured it would, kind of get everybody going. Man. Isn't that rough? I don't know. That one got me.
Well, before you even started your rant, once I heard the headline, I was like, can that guy send us his area code?
That's a great point. Yeah, just tell us where you live. Tell us where the headline comes from, USA Today Sports. Cal Raleigh's home run pace could deny Aaron Judge a triple crown. Come on, man. Come on.
How many games of Cal Raleigh do you think that guy's watched that wrote that article?
0.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I would say the answer to that is 0. I don't know who wrote it. You know what? I just screenshotted it, so I haven't even gone. I didn't want to click on it. I didn't want to give them the click. So I don't know who wrote it. I don't know what's inside the headline. I screenshotted it so that I could remember it. I do know how to do that. I'm very impressed with myself.
Did a screenshot?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that impressed with myself. But I didn't want to get more, I didn't want to give them more clicks. Yeah, the bagels, it's the water. Yeah, I hear it all the time. The water. Blah, blah, blah.
Also, Aaron Judge isn't leading the American League in RBIs.
No?
No.
Who is?
Well, give me a second on that, but I pulled up Judge's baseball reference page. He's not leading the American League.
It's not bold, so he's not leading.
Right, so he's only leading in one category, which is batting average, making that article even more ridiculous.
Cal's really preventing poor Aaron Judge from being, having bestowed upon him his God-given right to win a triple crown. How dare Cal hit so many home runs in what is supposed to be Aaron Judge's season? My God.
Oh, wait. How dumb are we? The American League leader in RBIs is Cal Raleigh.
Oh, there you go. So Cal's leading in 2 of the 3 categories?
Yeah.
How dare Aaron Judge, have such a high batting average? How dare he? So are they trying to argue that a soft-hitting, high-average hitter who can't even lead the league in RBI or home runs, despite playing in his Mickey Mouse ballpark, is owed the MVP and the Triple Crown? Come on. I'm not clicking on it. So if somebody else wants to click on it, you're more than welcome. Click on it and screenshot it and text it to us. 866-979-3776. I'm not giving them the click. If you want to give them the click, fine. You can click on it. Tell me what it says. Tell me who wrote it. Screenshot it and send it in. But come on. 509. Article sounds like it was written by a guy who would buy soap made from Aaron Judge's bathwater. Bathwater. Yeah, I was thinking back of that the sound we played yesterday. Let me see if I can find it. I should have told you about this more. The sound we played yesterday of the guys talking about Aaron Judge with Mark with Dan Plesac and Greg Amsinger, and Plesac's like, "Oh, I'm the biggest Judge fan," and the rest of MLB Network starts rioting because they're all the biggest Judge fans.
I'm amazed and stunned, and we talked about it yesterday. I don't have a vote for AL MVP. I'm the biggest Aaron Judge fan probably in this building for what he does.
Whoa.
But if I...
We had Aaron Judge
crew
walked
members,
right through here.
4 crew members just really scowled. They frowned at you. That's okay.
God, the crew members are mad. Everybody's mad. Everyone's competing to be the biggest Judge fan. And I like Greg Amsinger. He's awesome. And he's a huge, Mariner guy. I'm the biggest Judge fan. I mean, let's all compete to be the biggest Aaron Judge fan. Please. Let's all compete get together to be the biggest Aaron Judge fan.
What are you going to duel it out like in Anchorman for the title?
Yeah, maybe. They might. Anyway, that's just a rant. I mean, I guess that's more fun than getting mad about the Mariners losing 2-0 last night and getting shut out. And by the way, I wasn't even really that mad about it yet last. I'll talk more. Like, I don't know. Felt more like an anomaly last night to me. We'll see. As we've said about this team, like they could get shut out the next 4 nights in a row and I sound ridiculous, or they could go out and score 12 runs today. Who the heck knows? I got no clue. No clue. Matt in Beaverton says, hey, when your dad was ranting about bagels, was it directed to you or to your dog Gertie? I know how he likes to rant to dogs. He does. He'll yell at the dog. Unfortunately, and I should say this, I don't mean to guilt trip you, Matt. My parents' dog passed away a couple weeks ago. Pretty sad, Walter. Shout out to Walter. Good dog, English Cocker Spaniel, good guy. But unfortunately, his time ran out a couple weeks ago. So my parents, I'm trying to be a little like nice to my parents, but my dad kind of got me yesterday. I call him. It was like the afternoon, 3:00 their time or so, and he's like going, oh, like he's yelling in the other room. I'm like, what is Dad yelling about? My mom's like, well, his computer he thought was broken. So he sent it off to somebody to look at it. Turns out the computer's fine. He just needs a new computer cord. So, which is fine, except he's like furious that he has to drive 40 minutes or something over to 30 minutes to where the computer place is. I'm like, Dad, aren't you happy that you don't have to buy a $1,000 new computer? Yeah, but I'm mad. I got to drive over there. There's traffic. I'm like, Dad, you're retired. You have nothing else to do. Oh, I'm busy. Like, no, you're not. You don't have kids to drive around. You don't have work to get ready for. Take a leisurely drive. Who cares?
I can't wait till you turn into him.
When? What do you mean when I turn into him? That was years ago, Maura. We're well past that. We got to take a break. We'll come back with everything you need to know. I will play you some sound from the game last night and some thoughts on it as well. It's Brock and Salk. Sale Sports on 710, salesports.com.
The most first-half home runs for a catcher in baseball history.
Congratulations, Cal Raleigh.
Big dumper.
American League Player of the Week. A .417 average.
OPS over 1,600, 5 homers, 12 ribbies.
And one hell of a model American. Now you have the question of whether or not he's the front runner as AL MVP.
Where you follow along the Big Dumpers, Big Run, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills, maybe.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Bump here for the Got to Go used car sales event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Last month's beach party event was such a success they had too many trade-ins and now they need to liquidate. Choose from over 350 used vehicles in stock and ready to move. Shop the Got to Go used car sales event June 27th through July 6th at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram and all other Hazelwood locations. Just off the Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3, Bremerton.
Hazelwood has it! Oh!
You gotta dip your chicken strips. Hey, this is Kiani.
And this is Tabitha.
And a little thing we love about Chick-fil-A chicken strips
is all the different sauces we can dip them in. I like to line up all my favorite sauces so that in every bite, I have a different flavor. Then with the tenderness of the chicken, the juiciness of it, it's all there.
And for me, I like to mix my sauces so I get a little tang and I get a little sweetness all in one bite.
That's what makes it for me. Like, that's what does it for me.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the summer of Chick-fil-A chicken strips and sauces. Order now on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck. And she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes. But when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. So glad, so thankful that Molly and I made the call. Had heard so many First Mark Challenge victories, we needed to take that challenge. What does happen from your perspective when that caller, when that email, when that person reaches out to you for a First Mark Challenge victory?
That's a great question. So there's several steps we go through in the process. The first step is we're going to gather information, find out all we can about that client and what their needs are. The next step is we will go out to the market. We have dozens and dozens of carriers that will compete for the business. At the end of that process, we will then bring those findings back to the customer, show them what we found, and who the eventual winner was in that competition.
And it may be who they're with.
It might be, yes. And sometimes that's the best we can do is recommend they stay where they are, but maybe modify a few coverages to put them in a better position.
So go take that challenge today. Go be the next First Mark Challenge victory. It costs you nothing, and they will be there with you every step of the way. FirstMarkInsurance.com. FirstMarkInsurance.com.
This hour is brought to you by Community Transit.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, after a road trip filled with double-digit outputs, the Mariners' bats went pretty well silent last night. George Kirby was good, not quite good enough to overcome the shutout. Went 6, allowed just 1 run. But, that was one too many. Edward Bizzardo ended up allowing a solo shot as well. Mariners fall 2-0. Joe Ryan, pretty good. Mariners mustered just 3 hits on the night to go with 11 strikeouts. Not a lot of traffic. Not able to cluster hits together. He's a fastball guy, and it does sort of point out once again that the Mariners do struggle against the fastball in a way that you wouldn't expect. Dan Wilson, impressed with Joe Ryan.
I mean, that's when you got to tip your cap. Sometimes, they are able to execute and you're not able to get as much going and get that pressure that you want to put on them. Tonight was just one of those nights. And, like we say, it's a quick turnaround, which is a good thing for us. And we get a chance to come back tomorrow and win the series.
All right, well, one positive, the Twins did use both Griffin Jacks and Yohan Duran for the second straight game, so both unlikely to be available today, as the Mariners bullpen should be pretty fresh, as they have the finale here in this series. First pitch just after 10. Emerson Hancock and Simeon Woods-Richardson scheduled to start. Houston got their second straight shutout at home against a pretty good hitting Philly team, so the deficit in the West is back up to 5.5 games. And then a great start for the three big prospects promoted this week. Las Montez, 2 for 5 with a monster shot, 435. How about that? Michael Arroyo, 3 hits, and then Brandon Garcia hit 100 in a clean inning for Tacoma.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Welcome back, Shaquille Griffin.
Prescott stands strong. It's picked off. Griffin picks it off, coming near side. Makes one man miss, dives out of the way at the 35. The Seahawks have the ball back, and they've got 36 seconds left. A beautiful play. Shaq Griffin has been on Amari Cooper all day long and has been stride for stride, and that time he just undercuts that route, picks it off, and the Seahawks are in business.
All right, well, the former third-round pick, you hear him there, made a Pro Bowl here in his first stint with the team, returning on a one-year deal worth about $3 million, could add another $1 million in incentives. He's always had the speed. It's those ball skills that occasionally tripped him up while he was here. He'll help fill out that cornerback room that was a little bit lacking in depth. Reek, Spoon, Josh Jobe, now Griffin, all expected, I would think, to get most of the reps, which is not exactly a vote of confidence for last year's late-round pick, Nehemiah Pritchett.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
With the first pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Cooper Flagg from Duke University.
I gotta say, I would have bet against a guy from Maine being the first pick in the NBA draft, and like not just a first pick, but like one of the first picks that really matters. Like this is a guy that's supposed to turn around a franchise in Dallas, but that's what happened yesterday. Cedric Coward selected 11th by the Blazers, then traded to the Grizzlies. He's got Northwest ties, played at Willamette in Oregon his freshman year, then transferred to Eastern Washington for sophomore and junior years, eventually to Wazoo for his senior season, which of course was shortened to 6 games due to a shoulder injury. NHL draft tomorrow night. Kraken hold the number 8 pick there. That's everything you need to know. 1:15 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. I will just also read you this. Mike Hazen, GM of the Diamondbacks, spoke to Jesse Rogers of ESPN. We've been trying to figure out whether or not they're going to trade or not, and they got some injuries. So here's what he said. I think we're going to have to stay healthy from this point moving forward. I do think there's a critical mass of injuries that happens that we would have to at least be mindful of, but I still think we have every opportunity to be competitive, and we're going to get these guys back. The Sharks are in the water, Hazen said. Of course they are. I don't blame them. They all preface it with, hey, how you doing? I mean, look, we're over 500 and people are calling asking if you're selling. It's a tough phone call to make, but they have to do their job, and they're making those phone calls. So everybody's calling Mike Hazen. Everybody wants his 2 corner infielders, and, of course, he's got some pitching as well, and I would hope that the Mariners are among them. I would love to see them add the 2 guys that team has on the corners, Josh Naylor and Gino Suarez. So, all right. We spoke about that and a whole lot more with Buster Olney yesterday. Get his take on Cal Raleigh, his take on the trade deadline, and on where the Mariners are at in a very crowded AL field. It's next on Brock and Salk.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
Talking about the Mariners' plan for the trade deadline. You think people are reticent to the minor leagues and trade some prospects? I know fans develop a connection to names they hear over and over. Often you don't see these guys. I don't know how many people are making trips out to Everett or out to Tacoma to watch the young guys, but there just aren't any sure things.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Oh, man. August 8th is coming up rapidly. That is when the hotel opens up at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. And guess what? They're already taking bookings for an unforgettable summer experience, which again starts on August 8th. Go to snocasino.com and you can start looking at the whole deal, man. The destination spa, the expanded non-smoking gaming floor, big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, new food venues. It's all there. Go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, experience the power of choice. Whether you're cruising in a fuel-sipping Prius, tackling trails in a rugged Tacoma, hauling with the mighty Tundra, or commuting in comfort with the Camry or RAV4, your perfect Toyota is waiting. Whether you're in the north or the south, they've got you covered. 2 locations, endless possibilities. Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, the power of choice is yours. Visit their incredible team and beautiful showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
IRG Physical and Hand Therapy doesn't just treat injuries, they elevate athletes. From weekend warriors to elite competitors, IRG Sports Institute clinics are built for performance, blending top-tier physical therapy with advanced sports science and personalized training plans. Hey, Brock Hewitt here with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and owner of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Why? Why elevate athletes as well?
Because here at IRG, Brock, our motto is we want you to be your best self, your best physical self, your best mental self, and your best community self. At our new IRG Fremont Sports Institute, we're providing that type of care. We've got the latest equipment, the greatest techniques, the providers there that are excited to get you better, basically bigger, faster, stronger. Doesn't matter if you're a weekend warrior, a recreational athlete, an elite athlete, we will make you to be your best.
You'll work with specialists who understand the grind because they've been there. With access to cutting-edge equipment and recovery techniques, you won't just heal, you'll come back stronger. Visit IRGPT.com, IRGPT.com.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades. With purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan. We are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
Progressive knows sports brings people together, but you gotta feel bad for people who don't even get it. Some people will never know what it's like to see their favorite team's hopes decided by a ping pong ball to draft the next superstar. Or not. I mean, sure, it's silly for your happiness to hinge on the success of a 20-year-old entry-level employee, but you just can't help yourself. The stress is exhilarating. Progressive can't bring people together like the draft, but we can bring your home and auto insurance together with a bundle. So switch and see if you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
The future is here. So why is your internet stuck in the past? With Quantum Fiber Internet, you can get next-level multi-gig speed on a reliable fiber network. Fair and honest pricing with no annual contracts or bundling required. And whole home 360 Wi-Fi to make sure your devices are ready to take you where you want to go. So you can stream, post, game, surf, like, and love to your heart's content. You do you. Let Quantum Fiber Internet take care of the rest. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same, and that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, it was just a couple of weeks ago we were looking at it and wondering whether the Mariners were going to be able to hang on to this thing. And, man, if they ever bounce back, and now all of a sudden the offense looks like the strength. Brian Walters in for Brock today, and great to catch up with old friend Buster Olney of ESPN, who joins us now. Good morning, Buster. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good to talk with you again. How's it going?
It's going good. The ups and downs of a baseball season, right? I mean, you haven't been on a – when was the last time you were on a beat, doing a beat every day?
Beat every day, 2001 Yankees.
Wow.
But I think that to your point about, sort of the ups and downs, that's the American League this year.
Yeah.
Like it feels like there are a lot of teams that are kind of in the middle, and you're going to have ebbs and flows and streaks and, some up and down. And to me, it's almost a little bit, the American League is like flipping a coin over and over and over again, where you're going to have your little runs of 4 straight heads or 4 straight tails. Because all these teams are pretty close together, generally speaking.
Well, the Mariners are clearly in that boat. Honestly, 2 weeks ago, I was looking at this going, I don't know how this is going to work. The offense was back to being anemic, and the pitching staff had been even up and down. And now, watching them go, I mean, not against bad teams. They go to Chicago, and they beat the heck out of a really good Cubs team. What do you make of this Mariners team in general?
I think that they're among – I do believe that there are just so many teams in the middle, and they're almost the point of hard – it makes it hard to define them all. Like, what are the Boston Red Sox, who you just saw in Seattle?
Mm-hmm.
What are the Toronto Blue Jays? I think the Mariners actually have one of the better chances to break out of that pack. Because of their potential, ceiling for their pitching once they get that in order, because of the fact that, their centerpiece star is having the greatest season that we've ever seen from a catcher in the history of baseball. A month ago, I would have told you that there was no chance anyone was going to compete with Aaron Judge for the MVP award, but Cal Raleigh, it's crazy how great he is right now. We're comparing him with the likes of, Roy Campanella and Johnny Bench and Yogi Berra, and you're going through, and the numbers for him are favorable.
So how relevant is his position to an MVP conversation? Because I think any debate that goes towards Cal, you've got to value the catcher spot, right?
Much in the same way that I think that, Shohei Ohtani got extra consideration because he was a two-way player, because of the importance of, this was his impact as a pitcher, and here his impact is as a hitter. In the same way, not only is Cal, doing what he's doing offensively, putting up these crazy numbers, we're wondering if he's going to finish the year with 55 or 60 home runs, but he also is considered, as you well know, one of the elite defensive catchers in baseball, someone who, is the backbone of what they're doing with their pitching staff. So it absolutely is a factor, to the point that, as I said a month ago, I thought the MVP race was over. I mean, Aaron Judge is arguably the greatest right-handed hitter that we've ever seen. He's putting up unbelievable numbers, but the fact that Cal Raleigh is doing it as a catcher, it is going to give him an extra consideration, just as shortstops historically have had that benefit of the doubt when it comes to MVP voting, just as Shohei Ohtani has as a two-way player.
When you, with your time around the game, and being around all the teams you've been around, how much time does a catcher need to dedicate to catching / managing a pitching staff / calling a game, and how much less time do they get to prepare offensively for a series?
And I think that's especially an important question because he's a switch hitter, which adds another layer of preparation that he has to do. Look, when Buster Posey, who is someday is going to get voted in the Hall of Fame, is playing with the Giants, he got, because there's such demands on his time, he got his regimen down to 10 to 15 swings before the game. By the end of his career, he could figure out, you know what, I got to save my energy. I have to be in these meetings. I have to prepare. How can I make that work while getting some batting practice to maintain my swing? The other day, I was looking for JT Realmuto. As you know, he's been for years considered one of the preeminent catchers in baseball, and I went to find him in an interview that had been arranged. And JT, as I walk up to the locker, he's got his head buried in that place, and he's got a bunch of charts in front of him, and he's getting ready for that night's game and preparing to, the scouting report against the New York Mets. And it's much more extensive now than it was when I first started covering, because they have a lot more information they have to sift through. That is a huge component. And as they say, then you factor in the fact that he's a switch hitter, because through the years covering switch hitters, they talk about how different each swing is and the work that you have to do on each side to maintain that. It's an incredible workload, and he's playing just about every single game.
It is pretty remarkable, and I'll just ask, is there any chance that helps, that it takes away the opportunity to overthink the offensive side of the game?
I think that just depends on the players. As you, I'm sure, have had conversation with players who will tell you that they wanted as much information as possible. Max Scherzer is someone who's like that. And then there's some players who don't want the information. And I haven't specifically asked Cal, which way he prefers to go with that. But, geez, I always loved hearing the stories of players when, they're in games and a teammate figures out what the pitcher's tell is. His glove's a little higher on the breaking ball and a little lower on the fastball. And some hitters are like, I don't want to know. I mean, Jose Altuve during the sign stealing scandal with the Astros told his teammates, don't tell me the signs. Don't bang the trash can when I'm at the plate. I don't want to know any of that stuff. I just want to react. So I'm not sure exactly where Cal falls on that spectrum.
Hey Buster, I'm curious. You mentioned the switch hitting and the workload that they go through. Do you find it that, like let's say Cal Raleigh, do you think they almost take half the reps on each side of the plate, or are they kind of doubling up on their reps so they get the same amount of reps on each side of the plate that like a normal lefty would get on that side? Like how does that workload go for switch hitters? Does it vary, depending who you are?
And that is, it's a great question, and it has changed through the years. When I first started covering the sport back, in the Ice Age, switch hitters typically would go through a progression where most of them were born as right-handed hitters. They became left-handed hitters like Pete Rose because his dad wanted him to do that. And then over time, because they had far more reps against right-handed batting practice pitchers, they became better left-handed hitters. In the last 15 years, more teams travel guys who control left-handed BP. It gives them a better opportunity, I think, to maintain the swing than, say, when Eddie Murray, who's one of the greatest switch hitters of all time, he would struggle to get reps in BP against left-handed throwers. That's not as much of an issue anymore. And it really comes down to, what Cal feels like he needs. There's some hitters who just love swing after swing after swing after swing. That's what Aaron Judge did early in his career. Mookie Betts did that early in his career. And then as time goes on, they figure out how to, maintain that swing with a far less number of reps in the cage, especially because they're going to get worn down over 162 games.
Buster Olney with us here from ESPN. So my favorite day in the sports calendar's coming up a little over a month before the trade deadline. This is one of the big reasons to get a chance to talk to you today. Let's start. We've been talking rentals. What is a rental going for this year? Is that market up, down? How much do you got to give up for a 2-month rental?
So it looks like it's going to be a seller's market because there are so few available players that are going to be in the marketplace. In the past, by the time we got to the trade deadline, you might have a third of the teams that they were sellers, a third of them might hold, and a third of them might be buyers. This year, There are so few sellers. It's crazy. And part of that is the mediocrity of the American League that we've been talking about with a bunch of teams, bunched together. And the other thing is that a lot of the teams that we know are going to be sellers, the Marlins, for example, the Colorado Rockies, the White Sox, the perception of other teams is they don't have much to sell. Like, you could call the White Sox and ask about Luis Robert, their center fielder. He's batting under 200. And so they're not going to get a lot for him. They would have to kick in money to offset Andrew Benintendi's contract. From the Mariners' perspective, it's not quite clear exactly what's going to be available to them. Let's say that they want to get a first baseman. If the Arizona Diamondbacks, who have just had this incredible wave of injuries affect their roster, if they decide to become sellers, then someone like Josh Naylor would make a lot of sense. I think the Orioles will trade Ryan O'Hearn, who is going to be a rental. He's having the best year of his career. But the return is going to be higher than normal because there are just so few players available. And you can bet that the teams that actually have players to sell, like the Orioles, are going to hold their prices high right up to the deadline.
How about the Twins? Just seeing them this week, and they're having so many problems with their rotation, but they got some dudes, and especially in that bullpen. You think the Twins end up selling?
They could. I think they're kind of at a tipping point. All those teams in the American League Central right now that are behind the Detroit Tigers, the first team in baseball to 50 wins, Kansas City, Cleveland, Minnesota, they could all be sellers in part because the trade market is going to be so thin. I really think this year there should be three categories: buyers, sellers, and opportunists. The opportunists being the teams that, and maybe the Twins fall in that category, where they feel like, hey, you know what? Because there's so few options out there in the trade market, let's stick some guys out there and get a higher return this summer than we normally would. Another example of that might be Freddie Peralta, the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers are contending. They're having a really good season, but Peralta's going to be a free agent after next year. The Brewers will probably get a huge return in this really thin starting pitching market.
Buster, we're hearing about all the sellers. What about the buyers? Who are some of these teams that the Mariners are going to be competing with to potentially land like a Josh Naylor or a Suarez?
So I think Suarez absolutely on paper would be a perfect fit for the Yankees. And I'm sure that they are monitoring this closely. They've been playing DJ LeMahieu at second base. He's 37 years old. He's doing okay, but it wouldn't all surprise me to see them target a second or third baseman and move Jazz Chisholm, to second or third, whatever they need after they make the trade. The Giants were probably going to be the biggest contender, I think, for the Mariners for help at first base, but they had Rafael Devers. I'm going to be really curious to see whether or not, they just watch Devers take ground balls before games and decide, hey, you know what, we're comfortable with him at first base. Or, you know what, maybe they feel like he's better served to just be a DH for the rest of the season rather than play first base. It all depends on what they're seeing as he takes ground balls at a position where he's never played before. But, when it comes to other spots, look, all of these contenders are going to be looking for relief help. It feels like every year the teams that are serious about making the playoffs, winning the division, add a reliever. They add a starting pitcher maybe. And they're going to be plucking over the same rosters, which is why the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to be like the baseball's buffet table if, in fact, they decide to become sellers, because teams are looking at them and saying they've got a lot to offer.
Well, and the Mariners may have a lot to offer back, right, with this farm system that is not just deep but also top-heavy. I mean, I kind of just keep looking at this team, and as I said, 2 weeks ago, if you were on with us, Buster, I would have been having a very different conversation. I have been up and down all over the place on this team, and I have no idea what they're going to do next. They could win the next 10 in a row. They could lose the next 10 in a row, and I have no clue.
Yep.
But I
completely agree with you, which is why I think, I think that they can distinguish themselves. Right now, in the American League, the Tigers are a great team. That is a fantastic team, and they've got the best pitcher on the planet, Derek Skubal. They're going to be in the playoffs. The Tampa Bay Rays are probably the second best team in the American League right now. They are playing great. They're like 23 in 10 in their last 33 games, averaging 6 runs a game. Their third baseman, Junior Caminero, is killing it. underneath those two teams, there's a lot of teams that are similar, and a lot of teams that where you could paint a reasonable path through a generally mediocre American League into the World Series.
But none of them,
not like the National League.
None of them can roll out
Go
this starting rotation that the Mariners do, and it's not even just top heavy; it's just the every single day element of it. So, what if you were to take two really good prospects and another decent one? What if you took Harry Ford, pitcher Ryan Sloan, and someone like a Tyler Locklear, who'd be sort of the third type of prospect in that, and tried to turn them into three players? What if you target both guys from Arizona? And what if you turn to the Twins and say, hey, we'll give you Ryan Sloan for Yohan Duran for the next few years and take that contract, which is about to go up, off of your hands and the debt that the Twins are in? What if you were to add three players? How are you then in that conversation with the upper echelon of the American League?
Yeah, without getting into specifics, because I couldn't give you the value of those prospects in the eyes of the Diamondbacks or the Twins.
Right. But
your general point I completely agree with, which is that at the trade deadline, these teams are all so close together in the American League, you can separate yourself with the right deals, with the right moves at the right time. And I do think I share your vision about the Mariners having a potential, especially in a short series in October, where they could distinguish themselves against a team, whether it is the Yankees, the Rays, the Detroit Tigers, because of the dominance of the rotation. And again, you have a guy, Cal Raleigh, is adjusted OPS plus right now is 202. And to put that into perspective, that's higher than anything Johnny Bench ever did, higher than Berra, Campanella, Gary Carter, Mike Piazza, up and down the line. He's having the greatest season ever for a catcher.
You realize that he has actually DH'd fewer games this year than Aaron Judge?
I didn't know that exact number, but it doesn't surprise me. And you guys know how it goes. I mean, the fact that he got paid, I think just makes it easier for total buy-in, right? Where if you're him, you're like, okay, I know where I'm going to be. I got paid. Let's go. And there might be a cost to that in 5 or 6 years. I mean, that's what happened with Johnny Bench. He was catching 140 games a year. He wound up moving to third base at the end of his career. But for now, no one cares about that. We just care about how great he is.
So the other side to this, too, is if you really want to be a World Series contender, it can't just be Cal. You need Julio to be this player that we all expect him to be, want him to be. This isn't a shot at Julio because his defense has been Gold Glove caliber. His WAR is way up there because of that and because of his base running. But watching him every day, you're not seeing that superstar quality. Is there anything? I don't think it's physical because the guy's got all the traits. How hard is it for players? And I know there's no one answer here, but when you've got sort of dynamic duos and one side of that duo starts overperforming, how hard is it for the other side to keep up with it, if that makes sense?
It just depends on the individual personalities, right? Some players will feed off each other. I mean, the probably the most famous duo in baseball history would be Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris in 1961. And by all accounts, they were incredibly supportive of each other. There are other times where guys are jealous of each other. I don't have any indication, if nothing, that that's the case with Julio and Cal. I've seen quotes from Julio where he's incredibly supportive and talks about he's talking about Cal for MVP. But it can. In some respects, I mean, managers will talk about how players will sometimes get into the box and they will look up at the scoreboard and they'll want to end an at bat as soon as possible because they don't like the numbers on the board. And there's an anxiety, there's an urgency that can set in. I think eventually, as we've seen, generally speaking, through his career, as the summer goes along, he seems to get better. And, Mark Teixeira, the longtime, all-star first baseman, was known historically as a slow starter in his career. And he told me, earlier this spring, and I called him about Julio, and I said, what do you make of, a slow starter like Julio? He said, well, what I learned about myself was I had to relearn how to hit every year. And it sounded kind of – he said, I know that sounds crazy for a guy who, played in the big leagues a long time, but that was my process. Other guys, will wake. Jose Altuve is going to wake up at 82 years old. He's going to hit a line drive over shortstop. Certain guys are different, and I think Julio just maybe over the course of the year he gathers momentum.
Something we saw from Julio last night that we've seen very few times in his career is sacrifice fly. He had 2 of them last night. Do you think that's kind of a good sign for things to see? Maybe a little more of a situational hitter. And I know he's been kind of knocked him on, chasing balls out of the zone and really trying to do too much.
Yeah.
But when you see him really settle and hit a couple big 2 sacrifice flies, get a couple RBIs, what should we make of that? Or are we just kind of overplaying it a little bit?
The first thing I thought of when you mentioned that was the fact that probably after the game Edgar Martinez was dapping him up, because that would have been Edgar Martinez's approach as a player, is to be more of a situational hitter. And I think coming into the year, when you heard Edgar was taking that job and Kevin Seitzer working alongside, that there would be more of a situational approach. And players, they can change over time, but it does take time as a hitter. It's not something that happens overnight.
This Seitzer guy's a riot. I really enjoy Kevin Seitzer. I remember him as a player. I mean, this is a guy who replaced George Brett, right? But as a hitting coach, he might be, of all the hitting coaches I've ever been around, the easiest to find and most willing to talk. He's not one of those hitting coaches that just hides in the cage and you never see him. He's got a lot to say about hitting. It's kind of cool.
He is. I've always enjoyed talking with him. He's obviously incredibly knowledgeable, and I think he and Edgar are the same in this regard, is that they are just so calm. And that's the way you want your coaches to be. The worst coaches that I've seen in my time covering the sport are the guys who can run hot and cold on players. These are, I think Kevin also has an absolutely bottomless pit of empathy, because he knows how hard it is. The guys are going to go through long stretches, and he's going to be the same personality the other day. That's what I've always heard about Edgar. I spent a lot of time when Alex Rodriguez and I worked together on Sunday Night Baseball. I mean, as you guys know, Edgar is Alex's hero in his life. Like, he loves Edgar, and the stories about Edgar and how even keeled he was, doesn't surprise me that he and Kevin are working well together.
You ever miss doing the beat? You said since 2001. You ever miss covering one team every day?
Yes, there's something that's really cool about that, because you're building on conversations versus, my job on Sunday Night Baseball now, I'll drop in on Saturday and you see a whole new group of people, and that's neat. Mm-hmm. But there's nothing like being in a beat and seeing the daily soap opera play out 162 games.
It's a lot of work, though. It's a lot of work.
Super fun. It's super fun.
Buster, we appreciate it. Thanks so much. We miss you. Haven't talked to you in a while, so we'll try to make sure we do it again. But thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
All right, guys. Always fun. Take care, Mike.
The great Buster Olney, who joined us yesterday, and great to catch up with Buster. When we first started the show 16 years ago, we used to have Buster on every day or every week. Buster was a weekly guest, I think maybe just during baseball season, but Buster was a weekly guest for a long time, and I don't know, we just kind of did different things. We had Jason Stark on as a weekly guest for a while, and for the last however many years, John Morosi did it with us for a while, and for the last however many years, it's been Passan, and I love all of them. I don't know, Passan's just been kind of fun to argue with. I like his argumentative side. Buster's such a legend in this business. If you go back, when Peter Gammons created that job, right? I mean, Peter Gammons was he was the baseball insider. And when Peter was kind of starting to age out of it, Buster really, I think, was the next guy who kind of took that spot, along with, Tim Kirchin and Jason Stark. I mean, like those three together at ESPN, and then maybe throw in Ken Rosenthal and a couple others. But I don't know, I've always held Buster in the highest of regards. All right, short show today. We're done at 9 o'clock, so I want to cram a tremendous amount into it. Brian Walters is going to be here for the next couple hours. Mariners lose yesterday, and yet, it didn't bother me that much. I'll explain why next on Brock and Salk.
If you haven't subscribed to Seattle Sports on YouTube,
it's amazing. We just got to keep hammering it home.
You're missing part of the game.
The rest is history.
There's so much more than what happens on the field.
This is the place I love.
Subscribe now for in-depth inside information with Brock and Salk.
The Mariners' hit rate was way higher than that.
Bump and Stacy.
Cal's like a coach out there.
Wyman and Bob.
One day, breaking that record would be pretty cool.
Stream it live with the local sports leader on YouTube, Seattle Sports.
It's the Got to Go used car sales event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, June 27th through July 6th. Choose from over 350 used vehicles in stock and ready to move. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Get one free set of Brake Best brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Breaking news for the people of Boomtown. With Xfinity Mobile, the Wi-Fi is booming, at home and on the go.
And an upgrade storm's on the way.
That's right. And with Xfinity Mobile Premium Unlimited, you can upgrade your phone when you want, up to 2 times a year.
Now, once customers catch wind of the guaranteed new device discount, it'll be the biggest upgrade storm in history.
Wow. Let's hear from our weatherman on the scene.
How's it looking out there, Rick?
Well, Bill, the Wi-Fi is still booming.
Now through September 30th, existing Xfinity Internet customers can get an unlimited line included for a year. Plus, ask how to get a free 5G phone. Learn more at XfinityMobile.com. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Unlimited line offer requires Xfinity 300 megabit internet or above. Taxes, fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Data thresholds vary.
Rick Riz here for the Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program. Many of our local youth sports teams need help with field enhancements, training, and equipment. Local Pella owners Keith Dashafy and Luke Wilson are stepping up to donate $5,000 to 2 deserving teams. We need your help finding them. Head to seattlesports.com/play to nominate a deserving team in need. Let's help our local youth improve their play this year with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Contest and rules at seattlesports.com/play.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bail Arm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bailarm.com today.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away? Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still haven't finished the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. Have you ever considered that you intentionally self-sabotage? So what's that about?
So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Get him freaking out! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to accuse you of management.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Hello! All right, day 2 with Brian Walters in for Brock, and he's going to spend some time in here next week as well. You're really getting run through it.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I've never done anything with Brock, never hosted with Brock, so it's going to be fun.
What, do you know Brock, really? I mean, we talked a little bit about this yesterday.
Yeah,
you don't even know him that well, right?
No, not really.
Okay.
Just a couple interviews here and there, and sometimes I'll catch him at the VMAC when you guys are doing your show live
really?
in training camp.
Okay.
And, say hi to you guys, but that's about it.
You've never caught a ball he's thrown?
No, I have not.
You ever catch anything from a left-handed quarterback?
Yes. Actually, no, I have not.
Never?
I ran routes for a left-handed quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was a Heward. It was little Sam Heward.
Oh, it was Sam.
It was
Okay.
Sam.
Yeah,
I was at
Brock's
UW
nephew.
working out, and Damon Heward's like,
Yep.
hey, come run some routes. I said, okay. And he could sling it. He was like 8th grade at the time.
Kind of weird catching from a lefty?
Yeah, it's you don't really think. You don't have enough time to think about it,
Okay.
honestly. So you just kind of react. It's not like catching a punt from a left-footed
Which is hard.
punter. Yeah,
Which
it's
is
weird. It's
almost, though,
different.
now the norm, though, right? It feels like so many punters are left-footed.
Yeah, they're starting to bring him in just because of that there's extra prep that goes into getting ready for a left-footed
Anything
punter.
to
So all
annoy
these coaches,
the other
exactly,
team.
anything to overthink things, to add another 10, 15 minutes to your schedule to make it tougher to
Who's the
get
toughest
ready.
punter to catch?
Oh, man.
Or why would one punter be harder to catch
You know
than
what
another?
makes a punter? The punters that just bomb the ball and good spirals or it kind of flutters a little bit. Those are easy. Those are fine. It's the ones that kick the knuckleballs. The ones that just they're not trying to bomb it. They're trying to hit the 35, 40-yard punt, but it's just this knuckly, spinny thing. And you got to run up on it,
right,
and catch it. Those are the worst. Those are the ones where you just.
That's
like,
when you start waving your hand.
You start waving your hand. You never get a good feel.
Don't
of it.
hit me.
Yeah, don't hit me, and don't drop it. All the things go through your head when you see those. But the other ones where you get to take some steps back, the time. It's perfect.
How many punts you ever drop in your life?
0.
In the
actually.
NFL?
In the NFL,
Zero.
I had 0.
That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
0. Yep.
That's That's a really nice feeling to go to bed with at night. Like, I never dropped a punt.
Never.
Out of
never
probably
muffed one.
dozens, if not hundreds, caught.
Yeah, probably hundreds caught. Yeah, never. I was just the guy they'd throw back there to throw your hand up sometimes.
You're good at that.
Yeah, I guess.
What was your longest punt return? 2 yards?
No. I had a 30-some yarder
you
in
did?
Jacksonville.
Well,
yeah.
that's an exciting feeling.
Yeah, so that was good.
I would imagine that returning a punt, you're always afraid you're about to get absolutely drilled from somewhere you don't expect.
This is we could go all. This could be a whole 4-hour show for us. Here's the thing. I would much rather. Here's the thing. I'm setting us up for later.
Getting ready
in the
for 8
show.
o'clock. Nice tease.
I would so much rather catch punts than be kickoff returner.
Because you're
Kickoff
not running
returners
at full speed
are
right away.
chaos. Yeah, absolutely. And well, it's different now, right? The kickoff returns are totally different now. So don't take this for what it's going on now. But back when kickoff returns were normal, that's just chaos. You're running full speed. You're trusting these guys to make the toughest block in football, and there's just free runners that you don't see, and they just blindside you. I was on Pardon the Interruption one time. My highlight when they were talking about concussions on kickoff returns is me just getting smacked, just laid out, blindsided on a kickoff return. But punts, you have so much say. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You throw your hand up if you don't like it. It's easier to make a miss. They're running full speed. You're standing still.
That's true. You can kind of use little moves, probably more than like you can dodge more than having just like the little subtle shifty moves.
Exactly. And there's less athletes. There's only like 2 or 3 speed guys on the field. The gunners on the outside, maybe the personal protector, but everyone else is in there to protect the punt. And like that's the main thing as a special teams coach. Don't get a punt.
That makes some sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. There you go. We've already learned something today from B. Walt, who, by the way, I should mention, I didn't say this yesterday because I didn't know if it was public. Recently engaged. Congratulations to you and your fiance.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, we're excited. A couple weeks ago, got to a knee, and there we go. Now it's start a new chapter in life, I guess.
Nerve-wracking experience to get down on one knee.
You know, it wasn't the process of doing it. It was the planning of it that was nerve-wracking. Making sure all the secrets are kept. Like, you know, she doesn't know it's coming. There was a lot of surprises. So.
Football player gets down on one knee, though. I mean, like that's got a connotation in football. It's almost like, you know, you're ending the play. Like you're saying, I'm down. I give up.
That's kind of a metaphor, I guess, huh?
It sure seems that way. All right. Well, congratulations to you and to CC, and good luck to you guys. It's gonna be awesome. I'm psyched for you guys.
You probably shouldn't tell Brock when you're in next week.
No, he'll spend all day
He's like
on that.
obsessed with people being married and engaged, and like he'll just never let it go.
Okay, good to know.
But you should tell him because he'll like you better. Like he'll have more respect for you.
Okay.
He puts you higher up on his like rankings of people.
Yeah.
Like when Logan Gilbert got married, he's like, oh, he's gonna have an incredible season. He just got married.
He kind of did, by the way.
True.
I mean, like he wasn't wrong, even though it was sort of weird.
But he asked Jerry DePoto about it. Like that was a weird question. Like, so Logan Gilbert just got married. Do you think he's going to be amazing this year?
That needs to be a little study, I think. If guys that got married, how did the season go for them after that?
Immediately after, I bet better than guys who just had a kid. That would be my guess. People who just had a kid don't get any sleep. There's no way they can be good at this. So Mariners lose yesterday, shutout, after all of these great conversations we had over the last few days. Oh, my gosh, the offense and 10 runs a game and this and that. And you got to go out and add to it. And then, of course, they go out and get shut out. So I didn't freak out about yesterday. I didn't. To me, it felt like a little bit more of a one-off. We'll see. Obviously, the next few days will determine that. But I will say, and early in this season, as the Mariners were winning, right, throughout April, and they were kind of going on that run, it never felt that sustainable to me. It felt like a few guys were playing way out over their skis. They were going to come back to earth. There was no way Polanco was going to be like, you know, a 1,600 OPS guy for the year. And a lot of those wins felt a little fluky to me. For whatever reason, the last 2 weeks since coming home from that awful sweep in Arizona, it has not felt nearly as fluky to me. And maybe this is a kind of a bad take the morning after the team gets shut out. But in some ways, the bad offensive game, I think, actually stood out because there really haven't been a lot of those in a while. They've, I think, done a much better job of being a more complete offense now, even more now, I think, than they were a few weeks ago when they were really playing their best baseball.
I'd agree 100% with that. Earlier, they were putting up some runs that no one saw coming.
Right.
And the other thing about that, the pitching wasn't as good. So it was just these higher scoring games that you never really expected for the Mariners. Now we're getting back to really solid pitching is kind of what you'd expect there, and you're allowed a little fluke game like this.
No one expects a baseball team to win 162. Like you're not going to run off 10-12 in a row all the time.
Exactly. And you know, when Cal Raleigh was up early in the game and he had that third strike called on him at low and below the knees, it was a ball. I just kind of was like, oh, this could be one of those games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how this works with baseball players and being on the road and you're not sure if you're going to play a game if the rain's. Did the rain keep him off the field a little bit early for warm-ups?
So I was wondering about that's an interesting point you bring up. I had kind of wondered about that yesterday. The last really bad game the Mariners have played, I mean, I guess they played a couple of doozies on the road, but that game in Chicago against the White Sox, was that the middle game of that series, Lyle, where it looked like it was freezing cold and miserable, and they lost the game 1-0, 2-1, something like that. Remember that miserable game in Chicago?
It was either the first or second game of that series.
Right.
I don't remember.
It was like, it's funny. They've had these two completely opposite experiences in Chicago. Freezing cold and rainy followed by 105 degrees and people are passing out from the heat the whole game. But it seemed like in that game, they almost didn't think the game was going to be played. And they just kind of were like, whatever. Because for the most part, I think you've seen a tremendous amount of fight from this team. They don't give away at bats. They don't give away games. And that's not unique to this year. That's been true of the Mariners for the last, 4 or 5 years. It felt like maybe yesterday, I wonder if they didn't think that game was going to get played. Everyone thought it was going to get banged, and then all of a sudden, they end up playing, the rain stops, and maybe they just weren't quite as mentally into it as they normally would be.
Yeah, I could see that being definitely a thing, especially being on the road. I think at home maybe you're a little more comfortable. You have a little more. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, patience for those kind of things. Well, and it's not going to happen at home, first off.
Right, but also it's happening. Yeah, but for the other team, they're at home, they're in their house. It's a little a little bit more routine as opposed to you're sitting in this hotel all day and like, is this game even going to get played?
Exactly, just waiting around, almost getting that lazy feel. Just the unknown, I guess, is tough. But like you'd mentioned, this game doesn't worry me. It doesn't scare me. They weren't gonna just start, blowing every team out. What scares me is the Astros still winning.
Mm-hmm.
That's what scares me the most. Again, another shutout. So they're kind of clicking on all cylinders, I guess, too. But so that's what scares me. Seeing that the lead in the division just keep slowly growing when the Mariners are actually playing decent baseball.
Yeah, I do think they've played some really good ball here for the last couple of weeks. The defense has been great. The pitching has kind of gotten back to what you'd expect it to be. And yesterday, notwithstanding, I actually have been much happier with the bats. They seem deeper, more depth to this offense than I can remember. But again, that's why you go out and get more. That's why you add to it, and that's why you don't wait. Do it as quickly as you can before, as you said, the Astros lead feels insurmountable, which it's not right now. Come back here in just a moment. We'll give you guys everything you need to know. Big night yesterday in the NBA, of course, and the Seahawks made a move. They're bringing back an old friend. We'll ask Brian about that. Brian Walters is here. We're done at 9. Turn it over to Mariners pregame show, so be with us. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com.
The most first-half home runs for a catcher in baseball history.
Congratulations, Cal Raleigh.
Big dumper.
American League Player of the Week. A .417 average.
OPS over 1,600. 5 homers, 12 ribbies.
And one hell of a model American.
Now you have the question of whether or not he's the front runner as AL MVP.
Where you follow along the Big Dumpers, Big Run, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams.
Rom-coms, slasher-coms, space operas.
Free to fill your feed with impossibly chonky chonkers.
Cats, corgis, babies on demand.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things.
Bowl of chips on the Robo-Vacuum.
Free to open a world of remote work and Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com.
Limited availability, service in select locations only.
At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, experience the power of choice. Whether you're cruising on a fuel-sipping Prius, tackling trails in a rugged Tacoma, hauling with the mighty Tundra, or commuting in comfort with the Camry or RAV4, your perfect Toyota is waiting. Whether you're in the north or the south, they've got you covered. 2 locations, endless possibilities. Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, the power of choice is yours. Visit their incredible team and beautiful showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
O'Brien. Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck. And she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes. But when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, inviting you to come work with IRG. And Shannon, what kind of staff are you looking for at IRG?
Brock, we're looking for all kinds of clinical staff, physical therapists, occupational therapists, athletic trainers, certified occupational therapy technicians, physical therapy assistants, you name it on the clinical side. We are looking for those folks. But we are really looking for folks that want to come to an organization that want to be part of our culture and change the culture and work with us to provide the best care and service we can to our patients, our team, and our community. So those clinical people out there, we're looking for you. We also provide advanced certification. We want to provide you mentorship. We want you to grow personally and professionally here at IRG.
With over 40 clinics throughout the Pacific Northwest, you've got the opportunity to work in the city you want. Just head over to irgpt.com/careers. That's irgpt.com/careers.
To me, the LJ way is to provide an experience that people really enjoy being a part of. And they enjoy being a part of it because they're getting great service. They're talking with somebody that actually they feel cares about them. They care about what their impression is going to be walking away. It's also understanding you're now part of our family, and thank you for doing the business with us. And this is how we're going to show our appreciation through customer service. We're going to show our appreciation with taking care of you if you ever have an issue. Majority of the people that are coming to see us are within our community. These are people who are providing maybe services that we also use in our community. So the LJ way, to me, somebody can come into a retail setting and not feel like they got to have their guard up. And that's been a long-standing thing in the car business that, you know, we've tried to shake.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, road trip's been really good so far, really until, well, yesterday, right? All these double-digit outputs for the offense, and then the Mariner bats just went totally silent last night. George Kirby, good, but not quite good enough to overcome a shutout the other side. Went 6, allowed just this one run.
He deals to Castro. Here it is. Swung on, smoked, one hop into right field, base hit. Buxton around third base, he's going to score, and the Twins have taken the lead. Willie Castro comes through after a great plate appearance. That was the 9th pitch of the at-bat, and he ripped it 107 off the bat into right, and the Twins have a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and Lyle, I think you point out what's smart. I mean, George Kirby, 9-pitch at bat when he needs to put that guy away, and unfortunately can't get it done. I'm not going to blame George Kirby for a 2-0 loss at all, but your point's well taken that those are the moments where strikeout stuff is very important, and he wasn't able to do it in that moment. Unfortunately, Edward Pizzardo gives up a solo shot, and on the other side, Joe Ryan, really good. Mariners muster just 3 hits on the night to go with 11 strikeouts. Dan Wilson impressed with Minnesota.
Tough one tonight. You know, this is a Twins team that you know, we know has good pitching, and they pitched well tonight. You got to give good credit to Ryan. I thought he moved the ball around well. He used his secondaries a lot, and when he had his fastball, he located it pretty well. Made it tough for us. Didn't make a lot of many mistakes on the plate. We got some traffic in a couple innings, just not able to get him in, and then of course their bullpen that we were able to get to last time. We weren't tonight, but
I mean the bullpen's good. I don't know if the pitching staff's good. They got like a 6.5 ERA over the course of the last month. But hey, these games happen.
Yeah, and Joe Ryan's been pretty good for them. He's been kind of the one bright spot in that starting lineup. I think he's won 7 of his last 8 decisions is what I just saw. But the good news is, look at it, the Mariners get to, if they win today, they take 3 out of 4 from the Twins. You'd take that all day, every day. You took 2 out of 3 from the Cubs. But get the win today. Very successful road.
Yeah, you're winning series, right? That's all you really are asking them to do. In order to get that done, you get a finale late this morning. Weather is iffy. We'll see what happens. First pitch supposed to be just after 10 o'clock. Emerson Hancock and Simeon Woods Richardson scheduled to start there. You mentioned it. Houston keeps winning. They win their 2nd straight shutout at home against a really good hitting Philly team, so all the more impressive. Deficit in the West. Back now to 5.5 games. And let's throw it out there. Laz Montez. How about Laz in his, 2nd game in Double-A? Much harder to hit there? Well, not on this pitch.
3-1 pitch and absolutely demolished. My goodness. First Double-A home run for Lazaro Montez. It clears the berm in right center. 113 off the bat, 435 feet. That is why he is a top 30 prospect in the big leagues.
Yeah, that's a 435-foot shot for Laz. It's pretty impressive. 3 hits yesterday from Michael Arroyo as well.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Hey, Shaquille Griffin's coming back. How about that? The Seahawks make a move yesterday, and this has been rumored for a little while, but Shaq is back. Former 3rd-round pick, made a Pro Bowl here in his first stint with the team. He's coming back 1 year, $3 million, with a chance to earn another $1 million in incentives.
I think cornerback was one of the positions I thought they'd address in the draft. I think they needed a little depth. This adds to that depth, and once he left Seattle, he struggled a little bit with injuries in Jacksonville. That's what Griffin had going for him. So I'm excited for him to get back to somewhere that he's very comfortable with, somewhere that, I don't know, he just, for some reason, I feel like he fits the mold here in Seattle, and he's going to be fighting with Josh Joe for that 3rd corner spot.
Yeah, here's Mike McDonald from a couple weeks ago just talking about that position.
Great. Yeah, we got, again, these are great battles going into the offseason. Now, I mean, are we not going to look to always improve our team in any aspect? No, we're always going to be out there and try to be in everything, and chasing edges on making us better. But the guys that are with us right now, kind of in that 3, 4, 5 spot is exciting. I mean, the guys are doing a great job, but go nail it this summer and come back and go compete your butt off.
That little butt in there at the end sort of left the door open for this signing to get done. So, yeah, probably looking at Reek Woolen, Devin Witherspoon, Josh Jobe, now Shaq Griffin. Probably not a vote of confidence in Nehemiah Pritchett, I would think.
Yeah, still young. Again, still one of those unknown second year, going into his 2nd year now. I thought he had some moments last year where you had confidence in him, and then some moments where you're like, okay, we need some depth here. But no, I still love this Shaquille Griffin move. I do. I just think, I don't know. We talked about it a lot yesterday, this defense. We never mentioned the corner at all. We love the safeties, love the linebackers, love the defensive line. And it's not that we don't love the corners, it's the depth that we don't love. So this just adds to it. Little familiar face. Your fans will get excited about it and see what happens. But you just hope for no injuries at that spot.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Well, congratulations to the kid from Maine.
With the first pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Cooper Flagg from Duke University.
How about that? Cooper Flagg, I don't think it was a huge surprise, but the big surprise is that somebody from Maine went on to be the #1 pick in the NBA draft. Pretty cool. Cedric Coward selected 11th by the Trailblazers, then traded to the Grizzlies. But he's a Northwest, he's got Northwest ties. Played at Willamette, then transferred to Eastern, and eventually to Wazoo for a senior year, which he only played about 6 games due to the shoulder injury. But afterwards, he spoke about his journey.
How about his journey? I mean, how many, 3 years ago, where were you playing?
I was in D3.
He's in Willamette. 2 years ago, where were you?
Eastern Washington.
This past year, where were you?
Washington State.
How many games did you play?
6.
And now where are you?
I'm in the NBA, baby.
It's incredible.
It's a nice moment.
That's crazy. You know, it's so different now. I'm looking through this list of everyone drafted, and I used to know almost every single name on it. You know, who would get drafted, who was the top 10. You knew everyone. You saw him playing in college, and now I knew Cooper Flagg, and I knew Cedric Cowher because I follow Washington State basketball a little bit, and I knew he was a big loss when he went down, but I don't know anyone else. I mean, it's great. Rutgers had 2 guys drafted in the top 5, as Lyle was talking about. I mean, it's
for not making the tournament.
For not making the tournament. It's crazy. I don't know who these guys are.
All right, that's everything you need to know. NHL draft, by the way, tomorrow night. Kraken hold the number 8 pick in that one. You probably won't know a lot of people in that draft either, would be my guess. A lot of Europeans, a lot of Canadians for the most part. You didn't get drafted, right? You're an undrafted guy, which is a great story in and of itself. Like the story of the undrafted who makes an NFL team is awesome. And you made it as a rookie, right? You didn't have to go through a practice squad year, or did
practice squad my rookie year.
1 year in the practice squad, then you're on the team next year. Were you hoping to be? Did you think you had a chance to be drafted?
No, I knew I had no chance of being drafted, and it's just look. It's like the draft's like a supply and demand thing,
right?
You know, if other teams think that, if multiple teams like someone and another team thinks another team's going to grab them, that's when you get them. I had San Diego Chargers were the only team that came and scouted me, the only team that had talked to me. They're like, all right, we'll just pick them up after the draft.
Right, so you knew that no one else was going to snake you away.
No one else who even knew, I think, my name. I mean, they probably didn't even know what Cornell football was. So it's, that I had no thought. I was doing my homework during the draft.
Really?
Right when the draft ended, though, I kind of sat by my phone. San Diego called me like 3 minutes after the draft ended. Yeah.
So you knew that was coming. So that's kind of that must have been a cool moment.
Yeah, it felt
that's
like
sort of your draft moment.
That was my draft moment. Is San Diego, the scout, calling and saying, "Hey, come out to, we have a contract for you. Come out to rookie mini camp, and we'll see where it goes from there."
I'm sure you started negotiating at that point. Like, well, I hope that's enough money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100.
Playing hardball.
I did. They gave me the $100 signing bonus immediately. I raised that to $250 very quick.
Have you ever heard what's his name? Andrew Brandt's story. He tells it every year around the draft of an undrafted free agent where he says like, hey, the bonus is going to be like, it's like 50,000. I forget what the number is. Probably not that much, 20,000, something like that. And the guy's like, hey, I'm a little short on cash right now, but I'll see if I can get it for you by next week. And he's like, no, we're going to pay you. The guy's like, oh, I'll definitely be there.
No, let's just say I didn't go to San Diego for my signing bonus.
No.
I'll be totally, mine was $500. Was my signing bonus.
Really?
To go to San Diego.
$500. What'd you spend it on?
I don't remember. But I just remember getting the
about
check.
$350 after taxes.
No, $246. $246 was the actual check I got after all the taxes.
You
and everything.
literally couldn't buy yourself a suit to go there with.
I couldn't even. Yeah, I
filled up your tank of gas and off you go.
Coming out of college,
Yeah.
it felt good.
That's pretty good. All right, we'll come back. We're gonna spend some time talking football with Brian. Yesterday we spent a little bit of we walked through the defense, but the offense probably has more questions. And since he's a former wide receiver, we'll talk offense. Brian Walters next on Brock and Salk.
Bump and Stacy.
Talking baseball with Jason Churchill. Your view of this team's priorities at the deadline?
I think I would look at this from a window standpoint, from a winning window standpoint. I have 2, 3, 4, 5 years with this core to win. So I'm not going out on the market right now and spending the assets. You don't want to throw your entire farm system into the trade deadline, right? So you want to minimize that as much as you can.
Bump and Stacy. Weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey, Mike Salk here. Summertime. Let's go. Weekend trips, vacations, kids out of school. I know, I get it. A lot going on. You're busy. Maybe you think you're too busy to start that diet, workout, weight loss plan. No, you're not. Don't make an excuse. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic's going to make it so easy for you. You won't even feel like you're adding one more thing onto your already busy life. Instead, you're going to be subtracting a ton of weight. I did it. I lost 35 pounds. Ryan Rowland Smith did it. He lost 30 pounds. Listener, I just got this text a couple weeks ago. Down 42 pounds with more to go. Summer, perfect time to get it done. I had a lot more energy, wasn't hungry all the time, and the food, it's good, it's real. You buy it at the grocery store. Pretty awesome. Dr. Coogan's worked with over 4,000 local folks here to deliver successful results. Why not be the next one? Schedule your 15 minutes with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic right now by going to eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA Club World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on Cat compact construction equipment at NC Machinery. Built for performance, durability, and comfort. Buy now and take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months at NC Machinery.
It's the Got to Go used car sales event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, June 27th through July 6th. Choose from over 350 used vehicles in stock and ready to move. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Hey, get in. What? Who are you? I'm future you. Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Yeah. Mia, our doctor figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills, maybe.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with XFi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh, did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, we'll do Here's the Thing in 30 minutes at 8 o'clock. Looking forward to that. Short show for us today before we turn things over to Mariner baseball. I think they'll get this in. I don't know. We'll see. It's been kind of raining on and off in Minneapolis, and they don't have a roof there, so maybe they'll get it done on time. I don't know, but we're going to turn it over to the pregame show either way at 9. Today is it. Today's the last day to vote for the All-Star game, right? So today is it. If you want to go vote for Cal or Julio or JP, you can do it up to 5 times every day. Today's your last chance. You can go to MLB.com/vote, or even better, just use the Seattle Sports app. There's a vote tab in the bottom right corner, and if you have the app, all you got to do is click on that. It'll take you right there, and you can vote 5 times for Cal and everybody else you think deserves to be an All-Star this year. And I'll also make a pitch, because this is one of my favorite things. I'm going to be out of town until then, so I don't have the opportunity to tell you guys, as I do every year. If you are going to go to one Mariner game this year, make it July 3rd. The Mariner fireworks show for July 3rd is always awesome. It's my favorite. Like, it's hard to figure out what you want to do for the 4th and where to see fireworks and, deal with the crowds and this and that. But the best way to do it is go down to the Mariner game on the 3rd and watch the game, and then hopefully, actually, sometimes the game's over so early they have to wait like 10, 15 minutes for it to be dark enough. But then they always have just an awesome 4th of July fireworks display right afterwards.
Is that where they let some people on the field?
Yes.
They kind of put blankets out.
Yeah.
And everyone looks out. Yeah.
And often some of the players will be out there as well with their families. Like Dylan Moore, he's got little kids. So he and his wife were down there, watching the game, watching the fireworks from right outside the dugout. It's pretty cool. I always love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I like fireworks. But because I also won't be here between now and the 4th, I have to give my quick rant now, Maura. I don't have time. This is the last day I have to do it.
This was what I thought you were starting with.
Well, it's a 2-part thing on fireworks. The first part is go see professional fireworks shows. They're awesome. I love fireworks. I think it's a great, simple, cool, traditional, lo-fi thing to do. The second part of it is don't let off fireworks at home. It's the dumbest thing in the entire world. It's not worth it. It's incredibly dangerous. Every year, people are losing their hands, losing their fingers, losing their arms because they're trying to let off fireworks. And the risk of that, there's almost no reward. The reward is, it's dumb.
Also,
it's
if
boring.
you're like me and have
it's
a dog who's
stupid.
terrified of them, it sucks as well.
And it's mean to all the neighborhood dogs. So my yearly plea, stay away from the home fireworks. They're stupid. They're overrated. They're dangerous. They're a complete waste of everybody's time, energy, and money. And there's a decent chance they're going to leave you without a hand. Don't do it. But go see other fireworks that are done by professionals, because those are awesome.
I don't even want to say what I grew up doing.
What did you grow up doing?
We used to just, the street looked like a war zone.
Really?
Just fireworks everywhere.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
You're lucky you
very
escaped
lucky.
unscathed.
It's something about the adrenaline running up, lighting the wick, and running off. Don't do that, kids. Don't do it. It used to be different. It's not the same anymore.
All right, there you go. All right, that's Brian Walters. I didn't even mention Brian Walters here, former Seahawk, Super Bowl champion, wide receiver, etc. Yesterday we spent some time talking defense. Let's talk offense today. Got some questions for you before Blue 88, and I'll just start here. The biggest question. What's the reasonable expectation for Sam Darnold this year? What can I reasonably expect?
Here's what I'm gonna lay this out nicely. Where somewhere we can expect to be somewhere in between where he was with the New York Jets and where he was with the Minnesota Vikings, which gives you a huge
window. Yeah.
No,
way to go out on a limb there, buddy.
Right, you like that hot take? I don't expect him to get to his Minnesota numbers. I just don't, and it's nothing to do with him. I think it has everything to do with Justin Jefferson. I really do. You see some of the highlights of him. It's a good outlet to have when you can just throw a ball up to Justin Jefferson when in trouble.
He's that good.
He is that good. Yes, him and Jamar Chase stand out above everybody as the best 2 wideouts in the league, most talented, and he is that good. Now, I think he can get close, though. I think he can show that he's not that New York Jets, Carolina Panthers, Sam Darnold, which he actually had good moments. In Carolina, he actually had some good moments when he got put into the backup role a little bit sometimes, but he came in and filled in nicely. And I think that's what you see out of Sam Darnold. You see so much there, and he finally had a team that was surrounded with some talent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's big. I mean, as obvious as that is, to state another obvious thing, that's big. And I think this team, when you have JSN, you have Cooper Kupp, you have I think a running game that is going to blossom this year. I do with the Kubiak scheme, and I think K9 is going to be perfect with this kind of the wide zone scheme and K9's vision and able to cut it back. When that run game is going to get going, Sam Darnold's going to have a heck of a year.
All right, so that's interesting. I'm going to come back to the K9 thing because I kind of disagree with you on that. So I want to ask you about it, but let me stick with Darnold first. Closer to Minnesota than the earlier parts of his career. Good. I mean, like, is that enough? Like, can you win playoff games with Sam Darnold?
Yes. Oh yeah. I think you can win a playoff game with Sam Darnold. I mean, he's on how many he's played in one in his career? Is that right? Was it last year?
It was just last year. Yeah.
And that's a very small sample size. Everyone's giving him a hard time. Oh, like, you know, he can't perform under pressure. But I mean, who'd they play? I should know.
They got worked by the Rams.
Was it the Rams?
They had the unfortunate situation where they went and had to play the Rams in Arizona, right? Remember the Rams, but it was with the fires going on, and everyone was sort of behind the Rams in that game, and they just kind of worked them.
Yeah, I've always been on this show. I've been on, Bump and Stacy and Wyman and Bob and all that, and I've talked about. I've always been a big Geno fan. I really do like what Geno does. I like how he throws the ball, handles himself. I don't think Sam Darnold is a downgrade from Geno, though. I think they're going to be right on the same level.
Physically.
And I think physically, but everything. I think confidence in this league is a huge thing. To prove to yourself that you can do it, that you can play in this league, you deserve to play in this league. Sam Darnold experienced that last year. For his first time in his career, he really experienced success and he's like, okay, this league's for me. I can do this. I can succeed. And he was rewarded with his contract to the Seahawks, and he was the top QB free agent in the offseason. But that goes a long way to an athlete, especially an athlete like Sam Darnold. I mean, he was top. Was he the 1 overall pick? Why am I
three?
Three. He was a 3 overall pick, I believe, and. So he's an athlete, but he hadn't had that. He hadn't tasted that success yet. So now I think you build off that. You continue to just kind of get better, and that's what the best athletes do. Once they taste it, they know what it takes, and they can just they can improve on it from there.
So you like K9 as a starter getting the majority of the reps this year?
I think with this scheme that they'll bring in, it's going to be a lot of kind of flow. There's going to be more flow to it, right? Wide zone, offensive lines kind of flow into the sidelines a little bit. I mean, not all the way to the sideline, but there's just a lot of movement. That's where I see K9's strength, is kind of getting on the edges outside and hitting the cutback. Okay, that's what K9 wants to do. That's what he does anyway. When the scheme doesn't even call for it, that's what he's doing. He's trying to hit these cutbacks. He's trying to find those big gash plays. And that's where he got knocked last year. That wasn't the scheme. That wasn't what they were doing. And that's where you saw kind of Charbonnet almost, I'm not going to say take over the starting job. But
I thought he was better last year. And I, for a couple of years, have been I'm not down on K9. I'm kind of up on Charbonnet. Yeah. And I've never really understood why there hasn't been more of a competition there. Both guys are second-round picks. It's not like one guy was a first-rounder and the other guy was a sixth-rounder, and you're like, well, yeah, it's his job to lose. They're both second-round picks. They're similarly talented. Your point's really a good one about the style and how it fits this scheme. But is that in some way balanced by K9 is a home run hitter who strikes out a bunch, whereas Charbonnet is going to be a little bit more of a singles and doubles hitter. Like, he's going to give you 2, 3, 4, 5 yards almost every time he touches the ball because of the physicality, because of his style, whereas Ken may give you 10, but he also might give you -2. Mm-hmm. And when I look at this offense, they have not, invested in the weaponry on the outside, which I'm okay with. But can they afford to be in 2nd and 12, 3rd and 9? I would like to see them in a lot more 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2, and I feel like Charbonnet is a better bet for that.
Yes, I would say yes. In last year's scheme, yes, 100%. But in this year's scheme, I think K9 has all the talent in the world. I really do, and I think that home run threat that you talked about is in his nature. You can't change that. As much as you want to say, hey, come on, go get 5 yards. You're not going to change that ability to kind of see the cutbacks and try to extend every play. That's just kind of a thing that he's had. But like I said, this scheme, getting him on the outside, getting him in more space. He's going to be working in a little more space this year when you're out on the edge, when you're outside the tackles, making it into, as opposed to kind of, hey, wait for this pulling, the puller, and then, hit right behind him, right up the center. Some of these, especially out of shotgun as well, I think we're going to see some more runs, not out of shotgun, which is the wide zone kind of stretch kind of plays. It's gonna fit his style.
I hope you're right. I think that would be great.
Charbonnet. I think Charbonnet has done a fantastic job. He's going to continue to do a fantastic job, but I just don't think he's overtaken K9 yet when you see what this offense is going to be all about.
Well, hopefully they added enough on the offensive line to make a lot of that work. Last thing for you here, and then we'll do some Blue 88 questions. Biggest problem they had last year was really just red zone. I mean, they worked the ball up and down the field actually pretty well. Red zone was an issue. DK, for all of his size and strength, and was not a great red zone threat. What do you make of this team's prospects for the red zone?
Yeah, well, first off, don't turn the ball over in the red zone. I think that's the number one big thing. I mean, Geno had issues in the red zone, and I don't know if they're Geno issues or team issues. You could go back and nitpick everything, all the throws and interceptions thrown in the red zone, and you could kind of point fingers at many aspects of that. But it's about not taking points off the board. And even I'll even go a little bit further from the red zone. I'm going to go on the fringe, right? 30-yard line, let's just say. When you're on the fringe, I think
the high red zone?
The high red zone, maybe. But sometimes this is when, if I were to really knock Geno, I would say it would be his decision-making when you're just inside field goal range and you have points on the board. You can trust Jason Myers to knock a 55-yard field goal down. And then you take that sack that knocks you 5-10 yards back. And then you're taking points off the board. And those are the things that I want to see that I don't think you're going to get from Sam Darnold. Because I actually talked about it a little bit yesterday. Sam Darnold's always moving forward. He seems to have his shoulders pointing down the field. His momentum's going forward. Geno tend to see the field better when he was fading backwards, getting on his back foot a little bit more. He has a great arm. He can do that. But I think that's going to be a big thing for this offense is just don't take points off the board. If you're in field goal range, stay in field goal range. 3 points is big. If you can get 3 points every single drive of the game, you're going to score 24, 27, 30 points a game because you're going to have 4, 5, 6 drives.
Yeah, don't mess it up.
That was not good math by me, by the way.
No.
I mean
6
8, 9, 10 drives.
Yeah. 6 times 3 is still 18.
Yeah.
That's all right. Cornell guy.
I corrected
These
it.
things
There you
happen.
go.
I
But
think I made fun
that's
of
going to
that
be the
last time.
thing. Just turnovers in the red zone. And I think Sam Darnold will do a good job taking care of the ball. You got some wide receivers you can trust. The scheme's going to be fun. It's going to confuse some teams in the red zone with the crossers, and you're going to have a threat of the run game as well.
All right, let's do a little Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Ewart breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, 3 good football questions today for Brian Walters in for Brock. And we're done, by the way, at 9 o'clock. So just a little over an hour for us left today. Tight End University has been going on this week. Maybe you've seen Taylor Swift performing at Tight End U. It was a big deal. Everybody was very excited about Taylor's performance. How would you describe your perfect tight end?
I don't think people are going to like this, considering he's plays for the division rival. But honestly, my perfect tight end is George Kittle.
Why?
And it's because, one, he values blocking so much. He loves blocking. He is a mean blocker. He wants to pancake you. He wants to. He loves it. He loves being out there and block. He's a mean blocker, and he's not. He's okay with his role of getting 4 targets a game, 5 targets a game, 3 targets a game. But what he does with those targets is turn them into explosive plays. So he's a guy that you can put in the trenches. He's not going to complain about it because he loves it so much. Like, that's what he wants to do. But when you do give him that opportunity, you give him that 3-4 passes a game, he can turn it into 2 touchdowns a game, 3 touchdowns a game. And that's what Kittle's done his entire career. He's explosive in that way, but he loves to block. So the perfect tight end loves to block, but will take advantage of his reps when he finally gets
What'd you make of A.J. Barner, what you saw last year from him, and then what they drafted in Arroyo?
A.J. Barner stuck out to me big time last year. He surprised me, and I love what they got in him. His athleticism stood out to me. I don't know if we want to keep seeing him trying to hurdle people, but he did that quite a bit. And man, every time it seemed to work. But I think he's just going to continue to grow. His role was trenches. He's not Kittle. He's not explosive like Kittle. He's not that. That's not what I'm getting at here. But you could tell that he knew his job was to be in there to block. And then if he got the ball thrown to him, if he could take advantage of those. And you saw him make a helmet catch at one point last year late in the season. You saw him come up with some big plays that you expect. Elijah Arroyo is going to be so fun to watch. I talked about this. I've been talking about it all week. I went to one practice this year, or one mini camp, and I was like, who's that wide receiver? Who is that guy? Guy's big. He's a big wide receiver. He's moving good. He's moving fast. And it was Elijah Arroyo. I didn't know the numbers or anything. And just how smooth he looked on the routes. I don't know how his blocking is going to be. I think that's going to be an adjustment for him. But he'll be a guy that you can split and put him in the slot. And talking about red zone with this offense, I hope he's a guy that they can utilize in that red zone.
All right, question number 2. I sent you over the Super Bowl odds for all 32 teams. The top of this list is Philadelphia, Kansas City, then Baltimore, Buffalo, Detroit, San Francisco, Cincinnati, Washington. The Seahawks are all the way down at 35-1. Lowest on the list, Giants and Titans are 200-1. Actually, even below the Jets, who are 150-1. Give me a good bet. Just as you look through the Super Bowl odds, if you were heading to Vegas, you're just had a little time. Who has good odds?
Yeah. Once again, I'm going to go to a division rival. I think the Rams. I think the Rams are going to be pretty good this year.
20-1.
20-1. I can't believe the Seahawks are the fourth. They have the worst odds out of the division.
Isn't that crazy?
It's wild. I don't know where that comes from, and I don't know why people give 49ers so much respect.
Niners 13-1, Rams 20-1, Arizona 25-1, Seahawks 35-1.
Is it crazy to say the Bears? Is that crazy? With Ben Johnson and all these weapons they have, and Caleb Williams going into year 2, is it crazy to say the Bears are 35-1?
You going to win the Super Bowl?
I mean, it's a worth a
By the way,
bet.
I got it wrong on the Seahawks are 60-1. Excuse me. I was looking at the odds to win the conference. 60-1 to win the division.
60-1. That's wild. But I think the Commanders are a good bet.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, that has to be.
I'm going to be in Vegas in about a month. Definitely looking at that 16-1 on the Commanders.
See how that changes.
They got the quarterback, they got the defense. I like the head coach. He's been there before. That one's been kind of standing out to me. All right, question number 3. Laura, who had that piece that you were telling me about was that on ESPN? One move left to make?
Aaron Schatz.
Aaron Schatz. One move left to make before the season starts for each team. And for the Seahawks, it was sign guard Brandon Scherf, former Pro Bowler, 33 years old, who's out there still available. Should the Seahawks sign Brandon Scherf before the season begins?
It's hard to say no to a 5-time Pro Bowler and adding him to what a lot would say is not a complete offensive line yet. It's hard to say no to that, but the Seahawks have been down this road before. You went down it with Lake and Tomlinson. You signed him for a little quick, and we talk about baseball rentals. This would be a rental. This wouldn't be a long-term deal. This would be a one-year deal is my guess is what he's asking for. And I don't think it's the play. That's where I'm going to go with this. I don't think it's the play because you've done it before. Give these young guys the confidence and give them the chance. Last year, I'm excited for this battle at right guard. I really am. Anthony Bradford, Christian Haynes, I think we'll be battling it out right there at right guard. And what I saw to Christian Haynes last year, and he actually got benched the day after, so maybe I'm not a very good observer of offensive linemen. But when I went back and watched it, because I remember watching the film, I knew they were making a sub, but I ended up going back and watched Christian Haynes. I don't watch offensive linemen too much, but I watched him. I watched every single rep. And I think he only, I don't know the assignments, but only missed a block one play that entire game. And I was like, I think he had a good game. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to these guys developing. I'm looking forward to a new offensive line coach, a new scheme to put these guys in good spots to succeed. And that's
Bradford
the big thing.
fit in this scheme? He's so big.
He's so big, but he's so... He has the potential for a pancake on every single play. That's the thing that Bradford gets you. Now, does he have the potential to, let his guy run free and maybe not pick up the assignment? Yeah, sure, but they all do, I guess. There's a lot going on, but that's where you rely on the offensive line coach to get your guys ready to go. So I am I'm going to say no.
Wow.
Save it. Save that whatever you have in the.
What do you think Sam
salary
Darnold
cap.
would say?
Well, he's not gonna throw his young guys under the bus. So no matter what he's thinking, he's gonna say no.
What would he say
We're good with who we have.
quiet moments?
He's good with what we
Would
have.
Sam like a veteran right guard who's maybe won a couple of Pro Bowl appearances?
He'd probably feel a little more
I
comfortable.
think
with
he'd
that.
say yes.
Yeah,
That's my guess. That's a great answer. That is today's Blue 88. It's Brian Walters who's in. I probably didn't say that enough yesterday. Actually, some people thought you were Brady Henderson. They said you guys sounded kind of alike, which I don't know whether I would have caught that, but that was. No, Brady's out of town. Brady's off golfing in Europe, and yeah, he'll be back. Yeah, he's doing the whole like Scotland, Ireland golf trip deal. So
That's
I know.
a fun one.
Doesn't that sound fun?
Yeah.
Have you done any of that?
I've been to Ireland. Golfed in Ireland.
Pretty sweet.
It is sweet, but you just be ready for the wind. I mean, it was blowing 50 plus.
50?
Oh, yeah. It is brutal.
Wow.
Absolutely brutal.
Now, do they measure that in meters per hour? Do you have to do everything in meters once you get over there to try to figure it out? All right, we got an hour to go. And coming up next, it is still Thursday, so we've got some messages for Here's the Thing. We'll see what kind of shots people are taking next on Brock and Salk.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
What do you like about the young talent on the Seahawks roster?
There are some foundational pieces. And then this year, right, you're expecting Gray's Able to start. You're expecting Emma Ward to start. Elijah Arroyo is a guy, a silent sleeper that people are talking about. You got Robbie, the fullback over there. I just looked at the last 3 or 4 drafts, and there are a lot of starters on the football field.
For Down Territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Give me those sauces, grab the chicken strips, let's dunk them in there. There's nothing like it. Hey, I'm Joey. And I'm Josh. And we're team members at our local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing you'll love about the Chick-fil-A chicken strips is dipping them in our sauces. My sauce is the barbecue sauce. If you wanted to add sweet, tangy flavors, there's nothing like it. I love the garden herb ranch sauce, but if you want a little bit more kick in the spicy side, you can mix it with buffalo sauce. Dipping them in our sauces, it is perfection.
It's the summer of Chick-fil-A chicken strips and sauces. Order now on the Chick-fil-A app. Team members paid for their testimonials.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck. And she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes. But when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with 0 investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening.
It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Walking away from an interaction with a customer that says, I can't believe how easy this was. I can't thank you enough for helping me.
Our strategy with pricing is not to be the highest price and not to be the lowest price, but to be a really good price and to provide a really good experience to the customer.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. Afterwards, to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of like candies and fruits and stuff. It was just really sweet. It felt like we were truly helping.
Receiving a handwritten letter that's personalized to a salesperson or service advisor or a technician expressing gratitude, and then taking that home and sharing that with your family and hanging that on your refrigerator, that's the difference.
You hear it from one person, and then another, and another. You come to realize it's not a script, it's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get in the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Yeah, that's a good point. 509, you're right. Not meters per hour, kilometers per hour. You're right. It's right there on the car. I mean, thank you. That's my bad. I'll own that one. I'll own up to it. I screwed that up. I'm sorry. It's my bad. Brian Walters here for another hour before we turn things over to Shannon and the Mariner pregame show at 9 o'clock. Tarp's on the field, so don't know whether they're going to actually play just after 10, but hopefully they're able to get this game in before they head off to Texas to finish up this road trip. It is Thursday. It is 8 o'clock, which means we're going to hear some of your messages for Here's the Thing.
Brock Heward doesn't just hate one kid.
I am so disappointed in Michael Salk.
You don't know what you're talking about. You're mindless. Love you, bye.
It's time for Brock and Salk's Here's the Thing.
Okay, here's the thing.
Remember, these all get left for us through the app, through the Seattle Sports app. Just go download the app, and you can leave us a message here. Starting with Kevin.
Here's the thing, Brock. All you had to do was give a little credit, and this could have been our little secret. But instead, you take that macho hit, wrap it up, and present it as your own little work, huh? But when you really know deep down inside, you didn't do any of the work. All you did was open up Twitter, and there was a present waiting for you, huh? Presented to you, nice and easy. So, just like a typical quarterback, you ride to glory on the shoulders of others. So I offer you this. May you forever be sent-held on your quest for your next hot take. Bye.
Wow, so he thinks Brock stole a trash
I think
take?
Kevin sent that Emmanuel Acho clip to Brock on Twitter and said, hey, here, and then he used it for his trash take without giving Kevin any credit.
Yeah, I think fine to use it, but you gotta credit, right?
Shout out, absolutely.
Footnotes. Put it in the footnotes.
I was wondering where he was going with that. Now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Brock's a thief.
And
Tim,
Brock did win with that trash.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, even worse.
Tim is concerned for Brock.
So here's the thing. Is Brock okay? He's been coughing a lot. Someone should check him out. When he laughs, he gets this thing going in his throat. Please, someone get him to a doctor. Check his throat. Check his lungs. Okay. Love you, bye.
I feel like I get that sometimes too.
No, I've noticed it because it's usually you.
Yeah.
Like back when I did the Rough Riders anthem and all that. That's how I usually know you think something's really funny is you start choking and you go off camera and you can't even talk. But I have noticed that Brock has been doing that more often than you lately.
Yeah.
It's allergy season. Give him something.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah, it's got to be something. Do they all come after Brock or do they come after you?
No, usually they come after me. This is a rarity. I don't know what's going on.
But this is a heavy. Well, sometimes it's Lyle. This is a heavy Brock week.
So Brock's not here and just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is
Can't
rare.
defend himself.
Yeah, usually it's just people mad at me. Here's Ryan.
Here's the thing. I went to school with Brian Walters, and he was the best athlete in elementary school in the 2nd grade. Shout out Thoreau Elementary. Brian, keep killing it on air with Salk in place of Brock at the wedding. Speaking of weddings, I'm getting married in August. Shameless plug to my bride, Megan. Thanks, Maura. Lyle, keep learning things.
Shout out Thoreau Elementary. I love that. Thoreau Frogs. That's what we were, Salk. Good stuff.
Greatest 2nd grade athlete ever.
How about that?
So what does that mean? That's probably
I'm
speed.
gonna put that on my Twitter bio.
Were you pretty good? Like when you guys did did you guys play a lot of pick up, two-hand touch football at that age?
Every day,
right?
Every day.
Were you always the first pick?
Outside. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You do flag, there'd be the intramurals. Yeah.
But just that was our elementary school thing. Every day you'd buck up for teams and then pick teams as quickly as you could and play two-hand touch.
Yeah. And it was always the same teams over and over again.
Oh, really?
Single. I mean, not because you always picked
the same people.
You never really changed it up that much.
So
throwback.
Brock and I had a debate about this years ago. I'm curious where you were at. If you were to buck up with somebody, evens and odds, what is the process? What do you say when you're doing evens or odds?
I don't think I've ever done that before.
Like one, you never did
1, 2, 3, and you put like 2 fingers in one finger.
You never did that?
No, never actually.
And you say 1, 2, 3?
I don't know.
Are you talking like Rochambeau?
Bucking up.
What does this do?
We would always say once, twice, 3 shoot, which doesn't make any sense, but that's what we'd say. Yeah, or to see who had the first pick.
Oh.
Yeah, you go once, twice, 3 shoot, and then evens
like
or
rock,
odds.
paper, scissors.
Like rock, paper, scissors, but evens or odds. And I don't know why it was always once, twice, 3. That doesn't make any sense.
And so what was my strategy? What would it be?
I was just curious what you guys said or how you did it.
I don't know.
Some people would do like the 1 potato, 2 potato thing on a bat. That's
maybe it was like race to the field. First 2 people there.
Oh, now that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So we actually put some.
I feel like that was
some talent to it.
You just line up at the door to get outside for recess. Come on, teacher, let's go. Let us out.
You got to earn that sucker.
Earn it.
Let's see what Grayson has to say.
Sume, sume, sumo corrado su. Sume, sume, sum. How
long does this go on, Maura?
21 more minutes until I gotta go. So I tell that girl I was like this. Boo, 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 boo.
That feels like maybe somebody's kid got a hold of their phone.
I think so, but I thought it was great, so I included it.
That was really good.
It was multilingual.
Kid can kind of sing.
Yeah.
You know what language that is?
I have no idea.
Sume, sume, sumo corrado su. Sume, sume, sum.
Text in if you know.
I don't know what language that is.
It's impressive.
At first I thought Japanese, but I don't think so. You got any ideas, Lyle?
You're asking me?
Well, you're closer to Grayson's age.
I don't think I know.
No. All right, here's James.
Okay, here's the thing. 2 things really quickly. One, have we any examples of when a platoon actually worked for a whole season and into the playoffs, like lefty and right?
Yes.
Because it just seems like it's such a struggle for us over the years. And the second one is, do we need to worry about Cal going into the home run derby?
I mean, I can't get. There's many examples of platoons that work over the years. As for Cal being in the Derby, I think I'm good with it.
Yeah.
You have any issues with that?
No issue. You know how long it takes to groove a swing? Him swinging however many times, 30, 40, 50 times, isn't going to change his swing. And
Just
let
a
the
matter
guy
of
enjoy the
exhaustion.
experience.
Exhaustion. What if he's too tired? The poor man needs rest.
He has, for 8 months, he's done nothing but swing a bat. You think one more day of swinging a bat is going to put him over the top?
I think he'll probably be all right. Here's Jared.
Here's the thing. Brock is taking an entire week off of work
because not that he's getting married, but because his daughter is getting married? Look, I know you guys like to complain about our generation being lazy and entitled, but I gotta say, I can't imagine ever getting the go-ahead to take a week off of work for my daughter's wedding. Hell, I'm getting married next year, and I'm taking 1 day off. What is going on?
Brock has days off. What are you talking about? It's not that it's for the wedding or not. The man has however many days off. He's using them. How dare you, Jared?
Well, I think Jared's underestimating how important being married and weddings are to the Heward family.
Right.
Like, we've heard about that. This is an epic event for Brock. He wants everyone to be married, but when it's his own daughter, this is like huge.
Also,
and they're inviting like hundreds of people he has to entertain.
You got to understand how important this is to Molly. I think that's the thing that people are missing is really what Brock's doing is he's taking a week off to help Molly. It's really Molly's wedding. Haley's the one getting married, but it seems to be mostly Molly's
From everything
wedding.
he said so far, I think Molly would prefer Brock just be out of the way, honestly.
Until she needs him.
One day I'll experience this, but I think your daughter's wedding could be more important than your own wedding, correct?
I think there's an element.
There's an
Yes,
element
I think
to
that's
that,
a
right?
very valid point. We got one more
Take more days
here.
off.
Here's Alex to finish it up.
Here's the thing. Mike, Aram. No, wait. Aram. It's Aram.
Yeah, absolutely fair. Which is why I wasn't mad at what's that guy's name again? Oh, Pat McAfee. Yeah, I wasn't mad at him. It's fine. Aram. I didn't know how to pronounce his name. I got it right eventually. By the time we talked to him, I got it right, Lyle.
You got it right.
That was what was important. All right, Alex, whatever the case may be. Thank you. Here's the thing. You guys can do it every week. Leave us messages. All you got to do is download the Seattle Sports app. And there's a little, what does it say? Call button on there. And you can leave us a message.
Talk to us, something like that.
I think it says.
I forgot my phone today. I feel so weird.
Whoa. What are you doing?
I know.
How many of those do you have to go through?
Phones?
No, not phones. The messages.
Usually since the last week, there's usually maybe like 20, 25 or so.
I bet you have some good outtakes.
They leave some for the other shows as well.
Let's see. Some people saying sounds Aramaic. I don't know about that. That's Bulgarian. Maybe. This kid's rolling his R's really hard, so I'm guessing Spanish. That was not Spanish, I don't think. So I don't know. I don't know what that was. If you have any thoughts, if you know what language that is, I would certainly be intrigued.
Sume, sume, sumo corato su. Sume, sume, sum.
Kid's good.
Yeah. But I like when he starts breaking it down.
This gets funnier each time I hear it.
21 more minutes until I gotta go, so I tell that girl I was like this. Boo,
Thank you, Grayson. Much appreciated. We'll be back with everything you need to know next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
The one, the only Tim Kirkchin is with us. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm just as confused as you are about the Mariners, if they're going to get really good or not.
Is it hard to understand where their needs truly are as we approach that trade deadline?
This team is due for a great stretch of great starting pitching. If they can score a few runs, maybe they can really make a playoff berth in the American League.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
You're listening to Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. This hour is brought to you by Fred Meyer Pharmacy with a special message for Medicare D and TRICARE Department of Defense plan members. Your neighborhood Fred Meyer Pharmacy is happy to welcome back Express Scripts Medicare D and TRICARE Department of Defense plan members. It's easy to transfer prescriptions at fredmeyer.com/pay or update. See your Fred Meyer Pharmacy for details.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed.
The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and we've been talking about this. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience because the hotel opens up August 8th. Bookings are open at snocasino.com starting on August 8th. The expanded non-gaming floor, the destination spa, the big new entertainment space and convention center, new restaurants as well. They're combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com for details. Seattle's closest, now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Hold up a sec. If I work today, why should I have to wait 2 weeks to get my money? With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
Every success you've had began with a great opportunity. Now there's another one. Last aid year, University of Maryland Global Campus awarded over $21 million in scholarships to qualified students, including community college students, service members, veterans, and working adults. Now is the time to move your career forward with an online and accredited skills-based education. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck. And she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes. But when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, you know what happened last night. Unfortunately, didn't go all that well for the Mariners. The bats went quiet after what had been a really good week or so for them. Did exactly 0 scoring. Only had 3 hits on the night. Just 1 walk. Struck out 11 times. That's not going to get it done. Joe Ryan was really good.
Ryan from the stretch, his pitch. Swung on off the end of the bat, right to second base. Clemens scoops it up, fires to second for 1. Relay to first. It is in time double play. And the Mariners' threat put down here in the 6th.
Yeah, that was really one of the only threats they had as well. Just not enough offense.
I mean, that's when you got to tip your cap. Sometimes, they are able to execute and you're not able to get as much going and get that pressure that you want to put on them. Tonight was just one of those nights. And like we say, it's a quick turnaround, which is a good thing for us. And we get a chance to come back tomorrow and win the series.
Well, they do have that chance. So that's kind of where we're at now today. Tarp right now, it sounds like coming off the field following our insider, Shannon Dreyer. That's what she had to say. So that's good news. Maybe they get this one in. But you win this game, that's 2 series wins in a row on the road.
Yeah, that'd be big. And you could forget about this little shutout they just got dealt. But I always think about this. You ever think how big one call changes the entirety of the game?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about just Cal's strikeout early in the game, runner on, pitch down below his knees, way out of the zone, strike 3. If that call's not made, and what if he gets a hold of one, knocks it out of the park, it's a different game. They score.
It's a completely different game.
It's
yeah.
just wild to me. I think about how one call can affect.
Would you think that way during a football game?
Yeah, I think so. I think things can. Just shift momentum would be the word. Just shifting momentum certain ways. And sometimes when over and over again bad things are happening, I think it kind of.
It's a hard one. I feel like unfortunately those things happen for both teams over the course 100%. Of a game. You still had 6 innings after that to try to find a way to get back and score a couple of runs. Joe Ryan was good, and he had a good fastball yesterday. And unfortunately, this team has struggled a little bit against very good fastballs. His isn't high velocity, but it is, for whatever reason, hard to pick up. He had a lot of success with it. He's supposed to play just after 10 o'clock this morning. First pitch schedule with Emerson Hancock and Simeon Woods Richardson. The Twins are very gettable, man. You're getting them at exactly the right time. So find a way to win the game today, find a way to win this series, and then head off from there to Texas. Now, the flip side could be on and off today. Could end up with one of these long getaway days while Texas just sits and waits for you. So not a perfect scenario. Houston, also not perfect. They win yesterday again. Second straight shutout at home against the Phillies. So the deficit in the West back to 5.5 games.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Prescott stands strong and picked off. Griffin picks it off coming near side. Makes one man miss, dives out of the way at the 35. The Seahawks have the ball back, and they've got 36 seconds left. A beautiful play. Shaq Griffin has been on Amari Cooper all day long and has been stride for stride, and that time he just undercuts that route, picks it off, and the Seahawks are in business.
Yeah, Shaquille Griffin is coming back. That was when he was here the first time. 3rd-round pick, Pro Bowler, and returning to the Seahawks as a depth corner.
Yeah, it's good to see a familiar face back, and he had a great, 4 years with Seattle before he signed his big contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think this is a much-needed move. You need a depth at the corner position. We're all waiting for what they were going to do, because you're kind of going in with 3 proven guys with Josh Jobe, Devin Witherspoon, and Reek Woolen. You needed that 4th. You need some competition there as well. I think competition is a big thing to elevate groups that way. And I'm happy they made this move.
So how do you think this shakes out? So your starting cornerbacks are in a straight up base D, Witherspoon and Reek.
Yes, yeah.
And then when you got to bring another one in, you're going to move Witherspoon inside. Mm-hmm. And who do you think comes out next?
And I think they actually have some flexibility too, because Eamon Wari has played a nickel before. So depending on matchups, depending on who's are they going to be splitting out a tight end, the opposing team? You might put Eamon Wari on him to match up a little more size. Keep Devin Witherspoon on the outside.
Right.
That. So
or you move Spoon inside, and then Jobe and Griffin are competing for that next spot.
Exactly.
Probably a good spot to be in.
100%.
And maybe some of that is zone versus man. And Jobe, I think, is, if I'm not mistaken, kind of a really good zone corner. Maybe you're using Shaq in more of a man situation.
Yeah, I think so. I think the good thing about this defense, and we talked about this secondary, is everyone's interchangeable. I mean, even Kobe Bryant can step in and play man-to-man on someone. That's what he's used to, being in college, being the corner he is. So there's a lot of ways that Coach McDonald can make this defense flexible and create matchups. I think that's the big thing. Just put your guys in the best places to succeed and create matchups that you're excited about, and not put your guys in positions that you're not going to have Devin Witherspoon on George Kittle.
Right.
That's just not going to happen.
That's not a good fit. $3 million 1-year deal for Shaq, and with a chance to make another $1 million in incentives.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
NBA draft last night. Cooper Flagg goes number 1, of course, to the Dallas Mavericks. The local tie would be Cedric Coward, who played at Willamette, then Eastern, and then Wazoo. It was quite the journey for him.
How about his journey? I mean, how many, 3 years ago, where were you playing?
I was in D3.
He's in Willamette. 2 years ago, where were you?
Eastern Washington.
This past year, where were you?
Washington State.
How many games did you play?
6.
And now where are you?
I'm in the NBA, baby.
It's incredible.
I love it. I'm in the NBA, baby. That's a pretty good answer. NHL draft will be tomorrow night. Kraken hold the number 8 pick there, and they got to move on, man. They need some of these draft picks to start to pay some real dividends for them if they want to turn themselves into more of a contending team. So there you go. That's everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. The only disappointment about not being drafted for you is you didn't get to wear like a draft day outfit or something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of becoming a huge thing now. And
yeah,
and just the whole, wanting other teams to want you. That was pretty disappointing.
Yeah, I guess there's that.
All right, there's all those other guys, and then here I am, one team to choose from. So yeah, but no, no matter what your ride is, no matter how you get there, you get there. That's it. Everyone else has all different.
I mean, but you, Doug Baldwin, Jermaine Carter, there's a pretty good. Yeah. There's a lot of guys who went undrafted who ended up having really good NFL careers, especially here.
And the thing is, the scouting process isn't 100% accurate. They're going to miss guys.
Mm-hmm.
Guys are, and I'm not saying I was missed. I mean, I'm not saying that. Everyone out there says, "Oh, Brian thinks he should have been first overall."
You played in the NFL,
but I played 7 years.
I would say you were missed.
But like Doug Baldwin was missed. I mean, someone looking back, like, why didn't we draft him in the?
Absolutely.
Jermaine Kearse was missed. So it's just people slip through the cracks, and that's just going to happen. You can't scout everybody, and it's just the way it is.
Well, you also get the element of for the players where it's like, hey, if you're not going to go in the first, let's call it 5 rounds, you'd probably rather not get drafted in the 6th or 7th round, especially because then you can't choose where you're going. I know you were in a unique spot where only one team liked you, but I was talking about this with G and specifically with his kid. Mm-hmm. Once they got past, let's say, 5 rounds, I think they were sort of hoping he wouldn't get drafted so that he could go sign with a team that had a really good opportunity for him at tight end.
And a lot of times guys can, especially if you're a guy undrafted, but multiple teams liked you,
mm-hmm.
you can get a little bidding war going too, just a signing bonus.
Yeah.
And I don't think they'll make more than a draft pick, but it's kind of nice to have that. See who really wants you. Who
could have upped that thing from $500 to maybe $600 or $700.
Boy, that would have been nice.
Think about what you could have afforded with that.
$500 paycheck would have been something.
What a moment it would have been for you. All right, we got a few more minutes to go. More is going to take us around the NFL, where there's been a lot of news here over the last couple of days, and we'll let Brian react to some of that. A few more minutes of Mariner talk, previewing today's game, and then we'll turn things over to Shannon. Be right back with Brian Walters here on Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com.
The most first-half home runs for a catcher in baseball history.
Congratulations, Cal Raleigh.
Big dumper.
American League Player of the Week. A .417 average.
OPS over 1,600. 5 homers, 12 ribbies.
And one hell of a model American.
Now you have the question of whether or not he's the front runner as AL MVP.
Where you follow along the Big Dumpers, Big Run. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and it is summer, right? So July 4th right around the corner, weekend trips, vacation, kids out of school. You're super busy. I know how it works. I am too. So you might be thinking you're too busy to start your diet or workout or weight loss plan. Come on, guys. Don't let it be another excuse. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is going to make it super easy for you, so you won't feel like you're adding on something else to your already busy life. Instead, you're going to be subtracting weight. That's right. I did the plan, lost 35 pounds. Ryan Roland Smith, 30 pounds. Listener we had, just a week or so ago, 42 pounds and counting. Summer's the perfect time to get this done. I had more energy, wasn't feeling hungry. You end up, it's good food, tastes good. It's all real food that you buy at the grocery store. Yep, Dr. Coogan has worked with over 4,000 local folks, and he's delivered successful results. Why not be the next one? Schedule a 15-minute consult with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic by going to eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on Cat compact construction equipment at NC Machinery. Built for performance, durability, and comfort. Buy now and take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months at NC Machinery.
Headed to the ballpark? Skip the traffic jams, parking fees, and the stress of driving. Make riding transit part of your game day ritual. Roll in with your crew, talk stats, and meet fans. No traffic, no stress. Community Transit riders enjoy seamless connections to light rail and ferries to get to Seattle and beyond. And youth 18 and under ride the bus for free. All in for the win. Plan your trip with Community Transit at ctgo.org/home run.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck. And she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes. But when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
12s. It's go time. Seahawks training camp powered by Boeing kicks off July 23rd through August 12th at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. Join us lakeside for a first look at your 2025 Seahawks as they put in work and gear up for a milestone 50th season. Register now at Seahawks.com/training camp. Bump here for the Got to Go used car sales event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Last month's beach party event was such a success they had too many trade-ins and now they need to liquidate. Choose from over 350 used vehicles in stock and ready to move. Shop the Got to Go used car sales event June 27th through July 6th at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram and all other Hazelwood locations. Just off the Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3, Bremerton.
Hazelwood has it.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
4th of July coming up next week. I'm going to be off a lot of next week after Brock's kid's wedding. So I won't have a chance to tell you again to please be careful. The fireworks that you light off at home are a waste of time. Dumb. Not worth it. Total waste of everybody's time and energy, and comes at a huge risk because every year people are blowing their hands off, fingers off, etc. Don't do it. Having lived a huge portion of my life without my left thumb and with a hand that is only a certain percentage functional, I would tell you it is not worth it. Trust me. Do not blow your hand off with a firework this year. Instead, go to the Mariner game on the 3rd and go see their fireworks, which are great. And before that, you can vote for the All-Star game as well. 2025 All-Star ballots open just through today. You can just go to our app, the Seattle Sports app, and there's a vote button there. Or, of course, you can go to MLB.com/vote and vote for Cal. We'll come back to some baseball before the game starts and before the pregame show. But right now, Maura, with Brian Walters in, former Seahawks wide receiver, take us around the NFL.
All right. I was surprised to hear this audio the other day. I definitely want to hear what Brian thinks about this. Current Browns wide receiver Deontay Johnson had kind of a whirlwind season last year. He was acquired by the Panthers in a deal with Pittsburgh in March. He was the Panthers' leading wide receiver through 7 games, but they decided to trade him to the Ravens. He was in Baltimore for 4 games before being suspended and then released. And then he signed with the Texans, but was released by them after just 2 games. Definitely seemed like there was some just questions about his buy-in. So in a podcast interview with Sports and Suits on Tuesday, he was very honest about being mentally checked out in Baltimore and Houston because he wasn't really being utilized. But the story of what happened to earn him his suspension with the Ravens is pretty wild.
I wasn't getting into no run plays, no passing plays, no nothing.
Wasn't it cold as shit, you said?
Yeah, it was cold. So I'm on the sideline, just standing there, just going to the heater back and forth, just waiting to hear my name called.
Yeah.
So 4th, end of 3rd, going into the 4th or whatever. They're like, "Tay, we need you." I'm like, nah, I don't think it's to me. I don't think it's a good idea for me, because I was thinking about my legs. I don't want to go out there and put bad stuff on film.
Right.
And it's not like I didn't want to go in the game, but you got to think leading up to this point, I done been through so much. And
like you said, man, you were kind of checked out.
Yeah, I checked out mentally. I was like, whatever happens, happens. I was just rolling with the punches at that time. So I told him I wasn't going in. I was like, I understand what you're saying, but I'm not going to go in. So I just sat on the bench. And then that's when they suspended me.
Yeah, so that's probably how you were, right? I mean, as you're playing, if you haven't been in a while and somebody wants you to go in, you probably don't want to, right?
Absolutely not. Yeah, you hate getting on the field. No.
Brian, you ready? Walters, get in there.
Here
No,
we go.
coach.
Here's
By
what
the way,
I will say.
people posted this game. It's not like it was 10 degrees. It was 41 degrees.
Yeah. Here's what I will say.
Can't make it in, coach.
I'm gonna give him a little benefit of the doubt. Then I'm gonna clap back at it. But it is tough to sit on the sideline. You're not going in a game, and all of a sudden you're asked to go in and run a go route and go start, because you really aren't loose. You are tight. It is tough. Would I ever say, no, coach, I'm not ready, I'm not going to go in? Absolutely not. And then here is where I'm going to clap back at it, him being cold. And maybe he didn't mean temperature cold. Maybe he just meant his legs are cold and tight. Because I was going to say, some of the coldest games I've ever played in the NFL, you get back to the bench, my cleats start melting. They have so much heat on the sideline.
Yeah.
It's not like you're actually physically cold, which I don't think he was referring to. But I thought that was something interesting to say. I mean, it's almost nice to get on the field because you cool off because you're so hot with all the heat and stuff blowing in your face.
Have you ever been there when somebody on the sideline didn't want to go in?
I've never, ever seen that. I've never witnessed that firsthand.
What would the reaction have been amongst your teammates?
You know, in Seattle, everyone would have he would have been off the team the next day. I mean, no one would have liked that. Jacksonville probably would have slid a little bit. People wouldn't have cared that much.
Really?
I don't think.
You were here with Percy, right? So Percy had issues. I'm not suggesting it was the same, but Percy had some, issues.
Here's selfishly why it was okay for me, because when Percy didn't want to go in the game, then I was in. So selfishly, I was like, yeah, all right, Percy, like, cool, I'll go take those reps. So I got a lot of reps because Percy was, injured or doing his thing that way. So, but that was a very similar thing. There was a lot of instances with Percy where you don't really know, hey,
right,
Percy, do you need me to go in for you? Are you good? And
can't count on him.
Can't count on him. So,
but he's certainly never said anything like this. Like, no, I don't want to.
Not that I remember.
I don't want to put bad film on.
No.
Come on.
Not that I remember.
That's brutal.
But bad film is a real thing for players. I will say, you don't want to go out there because you don't know. Every NFL team is watching you out there, and you go out there and you don't have your best stuff. That's what the most recent film of you is what those scouts are going to judge, and it lowers your value, lowers everything, and that's what they're going to bring up when you get to negotiating, contracts or extensions, whatever it is. It's going to be your most recent film. So
He's a Brown now.
Yeah,
that should work.
Which is wild to me.
That should go well.
Then he went to Houston and didn't put in effort there. It's wild to me that anyone's still giving.
I mean, he's a talented dude, right?
Those Browns. Yeah. Oh, those Browns.
But you kind of see it. I mean, this is why he ends up going to Toledo. It's why he ends up in the third round. Like, that's kind of how these things go.
We didn't have there wasn't many issues with him when he was in Pittsburgh, right? So maybe Mike Tomlin's just a
No, they because I had him on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
They benched him a game or two for having drop issues, so I don't know if they thought that was like a work ethic thing that was popping up in games, but
yeah. No, I just that's something I would never. I can't ever fathom.
Okay.
Hey, no, coach, I'm not going in the game.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm not ready.
I'm good.
All right, our buddy Aaron Rodgers joined Pat McAfee Tuesday and said he thinks this might be his final year playing. But he also wanted to make it known while he was on the show that hundreds of thousands of people listen to, that he chooses to join regularly, that he doesn't need any of this and he doesn't want attention.
So I wanted to be all in, and I had so many other things going on in my life that were taking my mind and my energy elsewhere. And that's why I appreciated how Mike was the entire time, just being able to have those conversations, honest conversations every single week was really meaningful to me. I didn't need this, I didn't need it at all. I don't feel the need to prove anything to anybody, or don't have any chip on my shoulder that I need to hold on to. I don't want the attention. I know that's a narrative out there. When this is all done, you won't. It's Kaiser Sosa. You won't see me. I don't want to live a public life. And that's why it's so strange what's going on right now with my private life, because I don't want to live. I don't want to live a life in the public eye.
I gotta tell you, I hate this person. I can't stand him. Everything he says makes me angry. Everything he says is such a complete distortion of the truth. I cannot stand him. Everything he says makes me mad. There's no way any of that is true. There are so many ways. Everything is so easily disproven.
Yeah, when I got my sour taste for Aaron Rodgers, it was before I got to Seattle. I did a workout in Green Bay. I walked in the locker room, and Aaron Rodgers was sitting in his locker. And he yells at me. A lot of the team's there. I'm going in for a little workout. And he yells down the locker room, "Hey, what are you, a kicker?" That's what he yelled at me. I'm in there as a wide receiver, trying to help a team out. And that's what he yelled down the locker room at me.
Jeez.
So I was like, I don't want to mess with this guy. So that's when I lost respect for Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
And then all this other stuff has been I don't know. He just doesn't make much sense.
Do you think he's looking for attention?
Honestly, yeah, I don't know. I mean, he got married secretly. You would think if you want attention, that would be all over the place. That would be,
I would
know about
submit.
that.
No, but I think keeping it secret gets him more attention. And then he goes on Joe Rogan, and he goes on Pat McAfee, and
I would submit to you it's not about attention for Aaron. I will say that. I don't think it's truly about attention. Not the way it was for Favre. Favre needed the attention. He needed to be in the spotlight all the time. He needed the world to be talking about him. I'm not sure that's truly what it is for Aaron. I think what it is for Aaron Rodgers, he needs to be in control. He needs to be the one in control of everything. He needs to be able to prove, I'm the one who gets to decide when I show up. I'm the one who gets to decide how hard I'm going to work. You're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to tell everybody else what I'm doing at all times. And I think that's the thing. That is just the antithesis of football to me. Football players aren't in charge. That's one of the unique things about that sport compared to others. And he needs to be, and I just think it's garbage.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of truth to that. But we'll see here. When was it? June 26th? When did he say this? June 24th or a few days ago? Mark that date down. After this season's over and he is done, does he go quietly? Do we not hear from him? Or are we going to keep hearing from him over and over again?
Maybe
on
it's
all
such
these
a
shows?
bad season, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's a decent chance he stinks.
Yeah, there's a very decent chance that he stinks. I mean,
I don't understand Pittsburgh's bet there at all.
It's for me, it's so frustrating because he is so good. Like, he really is. He was.
At throwing the ball.
Absolutely. Like, as a receiver, you look at it and you go, man, like, look, just the effortless, what he looks like throwing the ball, how effortless it is. It's so fun to watch. And you just want him to not get tangled up in all this other stuff that he's just so.
But he can't run really, and he needed a lot of this. What set him apart?
He used to be able to run a little bit.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and I don't even just mean running for yardage down the field, but just escaping and plays on the run, on the move. I think without those things, I don't know. I don't buy Aaron Rodgers, and I cannot stand him. Just can't stand this stuff.
All right, we'll move on. We get fired up every time we talk about him. Well, we've already talked a little bit about George Kittle and his tight end university going on this week. This clip kind of caught my attention because I know, Salk, you've kind of preached this and the opposite with wide receivers, that you can win a Super Bowl without an elite wide receiver, and he's kind of pointing to the importance of tight ends in today's game in that arena.
One of my favorite things to look back on is if you look at the past 10 Super Bowl winners, every team has either a Gronk, a Kelsey, Dallas Goedert. Like, you have an elite tight end playing that makes plays for you throughout the whole season, throughout the playoffs, throughout the Super Bowl. You have guys that make plays. And so I just think guys saw, Gronk and the Patriots win all these championships. Right? We need to invest a little bit more time in these tight ends, maybe get them some more ops. So I just think offenses have seen success of other teams using their tight ends so much. And now they're like, oh, we're going to try using them too. And now you see all these tight ends from every team. The Ravens have a great tight end room. They got, Charlie Kolar, Isaiah Likely, and Mark Andrews. Three great tight ends. Yeah. And so you building these rooms of the tight ends. Now you can go 11 personnel, 12 personnel, 13, 22, all these personnels with multiple tight ends. And that's the best way to play the game.
You buying it?
No, I don't think I buy it. I think an elite tight end is something every team wants, obviously, but I think there's also an outlier to that. He mentions Gronk. He mentions Travis Kelce. Well, what about Patrick Mahomes? What about Tom Brady?
Yeah.
I mean, I think those guys could make any tight end elite. Now, don't get me wrong. Travis Kelce and Gronk are elite tight ends, but is that why they made it to the Super Bowl? Probably not.
It feels like it probably had more to do with Brady and Mahomes.
It just seems like that to me. Yeah.
Seems like that might have been a big part of it.
Yeah, and I look at, I'm obviously being nitpicky here, but the Rams won it in 2022. They didn't have a tight end. I know. I don't.
Right.
They have. I don't know. I don't think anyone, but they had an elite receiver. They had Cooper Kupp. They had all these. I had that. Philadelphia last year won it. Dallas Goedert. Yeah, George Kittle did say Dallas Goedert to him as an elite tight end.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's it. I don't know if I see him with all the top tight ends in the
Certainly
league.
a good
I think he's
tight
like
end.
a second-tier tight end. Certainly a good tight end, but A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, those are some good receivers too. I'm going to take the receiver side on this. I think
that's not surprising.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not sure that either of them are all that important necessarily for winning a Super Bowl. Receivers, it's nice to have good receivers. You don't want bad ones. I'm not convinced that having the very best outside receivers is the best way to win a Super Bowl. I think the offensive line is more important.
Mm-hmm.
I think having having a tight end that matches your identity is very important. And if you want to run the ball and be physical, you better have a guy who can help you run the ball and be physical, and not Jimmy Graham. But if you want a passing team, having a Jimmy Graham is probably very valuable.
Right.
So it's tight end U, man. They're here to promote the tight ends this week, so good on him. He's getting everyone to talk about tight ends. That's the whole idea of tight end U. So I'm cool with it, even though I'm not sure I agree with it.
Which is funny, though. He mentioned the last 10 Super Bowls, 8 of those had a Travis Kelce or Gronkowski in it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But they also either had Brady or Mahomes.
They also have Brady. It's just, I don't know. It's a tough one.
But I guess you could say that it was important for Brady and Mahomes to have a tight end.
No, you could say that. That is 100% true.
Because towards the end there, Brady did not have a ton of great receivers. Edelman was his guy. All right, we have one more here. Saints rookie quarterback Tyler Shuck was someone that we did hear floated as an idea for the Seahawks in the draft a little bit, but he had quite the lengthy injury history. He joined Amon-Ra and Equiminius St. Brown. The brothers do a podcast together. And I kind of enjoyed his take on a rookie season in a place where, it's probably going to be kind of tough.
And I'm going to come in and compete regardless and try and get better. But I think for me and what I've been through, I've been carted off the field. I've been booed. I've been an MVP. Yeah. I've been a starter. I've been a backup to Herbert. I'm like, dude, I don't throw some shit at me. Like, you're not going to phase me if we start off like 0-2 or I suck. I'm like, dude, it's going to be fine, So that's why I was so excited about that opportunity or any opportunity. And I think going into it, I got to continue to get to know the guys. We were talking about this earlier. I'm still a rookie. I may be older, but I got to earn the respect of everybody and do my job. So
that's a lot to follow. He's old, right? Isn't he like 27 years old or something?
25.
He's like very old.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I hope that he uses that experience to help him.
He's turning 26 in September.
Sheesh.
I think there is he's making a very valid point. It's actually something that's very intriguing to me about him. I never really thought about it until I heard him say it and read a little bit about it. But a lot of these quarterbacks, these rookie quarterbacks come into the league and they never really experienced any kind of downs in their career, any kind of hardships. They've always just been successful. And you get to the pros and you experience your first little bit of hardship or, things don't go your way. You throw a few picks, you're trying to learn. And it's like, their world's on fire. They don't know how to react. But then you get a guy like this. He's, like you said, he's been booed. He's been benched. He's been the starter. He's won things. He's been the MVP. He's also been hurt, been out the year. He's been through it all. And look where he's come back into a second-round pick and a chance to compete for the starting job with the Saints, with the Carr being gone now and retired. So there is something to that, and we'll see if, it's all, obviously I'll talk right now what he's saying and see if he actually lives up to that in the pros when he, in the preseason he throws his first interception. How does he handle that? But I do like it. I think that's important. An important aspect of a quarterback.
Talk about that more in baseball, right? Baseball, you got to experience failure because when you get to the show, you're going to get a lot of it, right? That's just sort of the way the game is built. We haven't talked nearly as much about that in football. Cornerbacks obviously have to be able to shake it, right? They have to be able to come right back the next down and, forget about whatever had happened the time before, wide receivers with drops, etc. But maybe more important at the quarterback position than anywhere else.
Yeah, and you bring up baseball versus football. Football's so tough because you might only get 2 or 3 chances. That's it. You practice, and you might get 1 or 2 chances to show what you can do in a game before people are making decisions about you. For baseball, you're playing game after game after game. Oh, now I'm in AA, AAA, whatever it is. You get opportunity after opportunity to show that you belong there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the tough part in football. That the second something goes bad, everything creeps in like, oh, I just blew my shot. I just messed it up, and now my career's over. What am I going to do?
No, that's fun. Yeah. That's a great way of looking at the world. Unbelievable. All right, there you go. That is a trip around the NFL. By the way, the Bucs extended both their GM and coach today. Jason Light and Todd Bowles both get extensions in Tampa. So I think, what did I say? He's the first Tampa head coach to get an extension since John Gruden. That's pretty crazy. Wow. That has not been a good run of head coaches for the Tampa Bay Bucs, especially considering that during that time they won a Super Bowl with miraculously Bruce Arians, who I think is kind of a joke, but they found a way to win with Bruce. Did you play against Bruce when you were here? He might have come later.
Can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember that far back.
Big excuse maker, that guy. Big excuse maker. But he likes to say no excuses. All right, just a couple minutes left to go here today. Brian Walters has been with us, which has been awesome. We'll take these last few to get ready for the finale here of this series with the Twins. And you said earlier, big game. It is, right? Obviously, you want to win another series. Your chance to go 3-1 against a scuffling Minnesota team, which at that point makes you, 5-2 on the road trip, and really puts you in a good position heading into Texas. I'll give you one more reason why this is a really big game for Seattle, and that is an opportunity to start to bury the Twins. Like, they are in theory right there with you in the wild card, but even more than that, they're a team that you could turn into a seller. One of the biggest problems with getting swept by the Diamondbacks and the losing 2 out of 3 to the Orioles, or did you get swept by the Orioles? I forget. But those are both teams that you're hoping to buy from. And by losing series to both of them, you gave them life. You gave them more of an opportunity to not sell and to make that market for bats that you need to go get even smaller. Well, here's another chance. The Twins probably aren't going to sell bats. That's probably not what you're looking to take from their organization. But, man, have you noticed that as bad as their starting rotation is, their bullpen is good? I mentioned Griffin Jacks yesterday. I mentioned Yohan Duran, both as possibilities for the Mariners, and maybe even more likely with Duran. Well, knock them out. Take them out of their misery, and you got a much better chance to go get someone like that.
Yeah, and the good news for the Mariners, you probably won't see those two pitch today.
Right.
They pitched back-to-back nights against the Mariners, so that's another reason why you have to take advantage of this game, because you won't see their best stuff. And winning 3 out of 4 is so much better. No matter, I mean, it's just one. What's crazy is I feel like baseball takes wins and losses very lightly. Is that a wrong thing to say? Like, one loss in baseball, I feel like is kind of can be shaken off very easily. Even though the Mariners have missed the playoffs by 1 game, 2 games every single year.
But sometimes you look at it as, I mean, it's funny. I always talk to my daughter about this because she's like, oh, how are they doing in each series? And she's looking at the series and she's like, oh, they've already won 2. Does the next one matter? I'm like, well, yes, it's not that kind of a series, but so they lose yesterday. Stinks. You're going to lose baseball games. But by losing 2-0 as opposed to 10-0, you force Minnesota, as you just said, to bring in both Jacks and Duran, their 2 best relievers. Well, now they're not available today. So you lost that game, but in some ways I look at it almost as changing field position in football, right? Baseball is you play 10 times more games. So, all right, that wasn't a successful drive. You didn't score points on it. But you moved the ball out from under your own goal line. You got to the 30. You punted to their 10. And now you flip field position. I think that's a little of what the Mariners may have done yesterday in terms of looking at a whole series. So, hey, we got to get out of here, unfortunately. But we're going to turn it over to Shannon Dreyer and the pregame show. It was great hanging out with you the last 2 days. Thanks for doing this.
Been fun. Thanks for having me on.
I know you're going to be back.
Meeting Brock next week.
I know. How about that? Heward.
What do you got? Any tips for me?
No. Heward and Walters together for a couple days next week should be a blast. I'll report back from Brock's wedding and let you know how it went. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the 4th. Stay safe. Don't light off fireworks at home. Go see a good show. And I'll be back with you guys after the 4th of July weekend. Bump and Stacy. I don't think they're going to get on today. So the pregame show is up next. We'll see you later. The hay is in the barn. See you, everybody.
Get to the chopper!
The most first-half home runs for a catcher in baseball history.
Congratulations, Cal Raleigh.
Big dumper.
American League Player of the Week. A .417 average.
OPS over 1,600. 5 homers, 12 ribbies.
And one hell of a model American. Now the question of whether or not he's the front runner is AL MVP.
Where you follow along the Big Dumpers Big Run. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck. And she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes. But when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Another checkup? Why are so many people getting new puppies?
Dr. Kim's veterinary office is littered with cuteness.
We are booked solid for weeks, but who can say no to a puppy, right? Oh, good boy. Oh,
She needs to find extra vet techs to get those pups some extra love.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, candidates can find it easier, so you can hire easier. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
This